This is the Detroit Lions Countdown to Kickoff on News Talk 760 WJR. Now from Lions Radio Central, here are Steve Courtney and Sean Baligian.
Good morning once again, my friends. How you doing? Well, for the first time in 3 weeks, a little football will be played at beautiful Ford Field. A couple of 1 and 2 teams looking to square things up. Your Detroit Lions playing host to Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints. Nice to have you with us. We're in Lions Radio Central, don't you know? Steve Courtney here. Mr. Sean Baligian over there.
How are you, friend?
We're going to have football, as it turns out.
Yeah, you know what? Let's be honest. Just a couple hours ago, we weren't too sure, but I'm glad that everything worked out, and here we are.
It all evolves around the former Lion fullback, currently with the Saints, Michael Burton. He tested positive for coronavirus yesterday. Now, obviously, in today's age, that leads to a whole bunch of stuff going on. They also had to test those who were around him. That would include the fine running back, Alvin Kamara. Well, long story short here, turns out Michael Burton was a false positive. He was retested, and it was negative. So all systems are go. But it just goes to show you, partner, what we are up against here in the dumpster fire known as 2020.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to say it is dumpster fire. Steve, it really is just an amazing set of circumstances. The entire last 6 months when you think about it, but we'll get off that and try to stick on football. And, you know, this is something now with Drew Brees. There have been so many questions about his arms. I think you've heard all the numbers. Our old buddy Mike Bratta sent a thing to me today talking about how Brees has only attempted 3 passes of 20-plus yards this season. And then you wonder why there are all these questions, not just coming from Detroit, obviously today in New Orleans, but questions coming from literally everywhere about Drew Brees and the strength of that aged arm.
Well, and everything has been brought into conversation. He's 41 years old, for crying out loud. As I've said 1,000 times, Father Time waits for no one. All right, can he air it out like he used to? Probably not. But here's the thing. He's still throwing at a 70% clip right now. And when you're able to throw a little dump out there to Mr. Kamara and have him waltz it in, as we've seen from 52 yards out, I don't think you have to air it out all that often. It's going to be pivotal for the Lions defensively to find a way to stop Alvin Kamara. If you're able to do that, much like they stopped Kyler Murray a week ago, you're going to help yourself out a whole lot.
Yeah, he's just a weapon. Steve, he's one of those guys that he's just a weapon. And for those of you perhaps that didn't stay up late last week watching that game against Green Bay, just an electrifying touchdown reception last week. And that's how dangerous this guy is. You get him in space, and he's the type of guy that makes plays. And they're going to need him today. He's put up big numbers so far this year. He's certainly become Drew Brees' number one target, and he can hurt you both ways.
Well, Mr. Kamara leads the Saints in rushing with 153 yards and 3 touchdowns and leads the team in receiving with 27 receptions for 285 yards and 3 TDs, giving him an NFL high 6 scores from scrimmage. Historically, when the Lions and Saints get together, it's somewhat of a track meet. As a matter of fact, somebody who's had a great deal of success against the Saints would be number 9. He aims for his 3rd in a row against New Orleans with 300-plus passing yards and 5th in a row against New Orleans with 2+ TD passes. He has 2+ TD passes in 4 of his past 5 at home, as a matter of fact.
They've had some crazy games against New Orleans over the years. And Steve, just in the time that we've been together, if you remember, was it 2016? Off the top of my head, they just flat out shut down the Saints. And then the Saints, exploded the next year. But look, the Saints still have that firepower. There are going to be questions about Drew Brees' arms, and I'm going to be very interested to see if Matt Patricia designs a game plan along, with his defensive coaches, obviously, to put that pressure on Drew Brees, to try to take away some of that short to intermediate type of stuff that Drew Brees seems to be thriving on.
Well, and here's the thing. The Saints come in extremely shorthanded. They are a beat-up football team. There's no question about it. Michael Thomas, the fine wide receiver, probably the best in the league or one of, he is not going to go. And there's other after him, which we will get to as this countdown unfolds. Defensively, this Saints team, not very strong. They're giving up, 31 points pretty much per game.
Doesn't it seem like this has been the Saints more often than not? They kind of settled down for a couple years there and were getting it done on the defensive side of the ball, but it just seems like they have struggled defensively forever and a day. And this is a team that the Lions should be able to get some business on. Now, Steve, again, the one thing that we have to keep saying about this Lions offense is just find some consistency, because it seems like it comes in spurts. It's like, there are a couple drives where you're sitting there going all day, right. With all due respect to Adrian Peterson, but all day, this is going to be a long day for the opposition's defense. And then it just goes away. And that's something I wish, Steve, I'd love to see them play the full 60 today, the full 4 quarters. It seems like forever since we had one of those games where we could sit back and really say, wow, I think this one's over, because let's face it, they've given up so many leads in the past. Is today that day? We'll see.
Well, you know what? Let's capitalize on our red zone appearances, shall we?
Yeah.
Last week, 5 times. You settled for field goals 3 of those times. You can't do it in today's NFL. We shall see. But wouldn't it be nice? Let me just plant this seed, if I may. Wouldn't it be nice to get to 2-2 going into the bye week after an 0-2 start?
Oh, my goodness. Now, who would have envisioned that? I mean, just sitting here a week ago, I think everybody and their brother assumed that the Lions were going to be 0-4, because surely they were out in the desert and they were going to lose in the desert, and then they were going to come back home and Drew Brees was going to light them up. Steve, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, you salvaged the season or any, kind of hot take type of statement there. But what I will say is exactly what I just said. If they're 2-2, who'd have thunk it?
Well, and like Matt Patricia himself said, let's stay off the roller coaster. Let's just play consistent football, put some W's together, and see what happens. Folks, nice to have you with us. Yes, there will be football at Ford Field. We're counting you down. Lions playing host to those Saints. Steve and Sean here with you. Right now, we update you on what else is going on with the Lions today.
We're 3 hours away from kickoff at Ford Field. For a preview of today, it's Lions Today. Here's Nick Roddy.
The Lions and Saints are getting ready to square off for just the 26th time in NFL history, and the all-time regular season series is dead even. 12 wins, 12 losses, and 1 tie. In order for Detroit to come out of Ford Field with a win, it starts with slowing down Alvin Kamara. The Saints running back leads the NFL in scoring, and Lions linebacker Jelani Tavai is excited to play against the league's best.
He's a really good back, When I was watching the game, they would bring up some crazy stat about how many tackles he's broken or stuff like that, and it's just one of those challenges that us as a defense, we've accepted, and we're really excited to play against him because we know how great of a back he is. So we just got to make sure that we gang tackle, wrap up, and just do our assignments.
The story on quarterback Drew Brees so far this season is how far or short he's throwing downfield. He ranks 36th in the league in average intended air yards per throw. But Lions head coach Matt Patricia doesn't see a lesser quarterback.
I've played against Drew Brees for a long time. I have the utmost respect for him, and his arm talent and his arm strength is still phenomenal. So I don't really read into all that stuff. Again, same as what we say about anything. We're 3 weeks into the season, coming up on 4 weeks into the season. All those stats and all those numbers are going to change by the time we get to week 14, 15, and everything's going to look different. So for us, we got to make sure that we just do a good job of trying to defend all the things that they do well, which is a lot.
Detroit has a chance to even their record before next week's bye, which would be impressive after the 0-2 start. But quarterback Matthew Stafford is just focused on executing on Sunday.
I think the biggest thing for us is trying to be 1-0 this week. That's our biggest goal. In this league, it's a week-to-week season. You win the game, you're a good team. You lose the game, you're not a good team. That's just the way it goes. We got to go out there and and try to win games every week. This week is obviously against a really good opponent, a team that's, always going deep into the playoffs, making runs at Super Bowls. So it's a big challenge for us.
That's the Lions today. I'm Nick Roddy.
There will be one Super Bowl champ crowned at the end of this year. That's it. That's a fact. And the fact is, we got to come back and go to work. That's all we got to do.
For a closer look at the New Orleans Saints, here's Charting the Opposition, brought to you by Galling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Here's Chris Renwick.
All right, so we know Drew Brees has been one of the most reliable and consistent quarterbacks in the league in recent history. But just like the year that is 2020, something's a little off. He doesn't seem to be pushing the ball down the field quite like he has in years past. But the good news for the Saints is he is coming off a very vintage Brees performance last week against Green Bay, throwing for 288 yards and 3 touchdowns with a passer rating of nearly 129. So that is a great sign for New Orleans. Now, defensively for the Saints, their secondary gave up 283 yards and 3 scores to Aaron Rodgers and the Packers last week, which was in the bottom third of defensive performances in week 3. Now, Matthew Stafford had very similar numbers against Arizona, throwing for 270 yards and 2 touchdowns. So we'll see if the back end on that New Orleans D is able to make any adjustments from week 3 to week 4. But the Nola Rush defense was up to the task against the dynamic Aaron Jones last week, allowing just over 3 yards a carry. Now for Detroit, Adrian Peterson has been named the lead back. So we'll see what answers the Saints front 7 will have for stopping the future Hall of Famer. Now, AP's counterpart, Alvin Kamara, was absolutely stellar against Green Bay last week, rushing for nearly 10 yards a carry on just 6 attempts. But he did most of his damage in the pass game, hauling in 13 passes out of the backfield for 139 yards and 2 scores. My goodness. So look, it's very simple. For the Lions, stopping Alvin Kamara will be absolutely priority number 1. That's Charting the Opposition. I'm Chris Renwick.
All right, Chris, thank you very much there, young fellow. Now, for your next tailgate this Lions season, make sure to visit Guernsey Farms Dairy in Northville. Their newly remodeled restaurant and ice cream parlor is open for carryout, and the dining room is open Friday through Sunday, 4 till 9. Again, stepping up, taking care of the Lions broadcast crew, beginning with a nice breakfast burrito. I would put it up against anyone, anywhere.
That is just wonderful, isn't it?
Sensational.
Yeah, just chocked full of goodness.
Loaded.
Yes.
And then for later, little shepherd's pie. The Irish in me is just tuned into that. Pre-order by visiting GuernseyFarmsDairy.com or find Guernsey's award-winning milk, ice cream, lemonade, and other dairy products in your local grocery store. Do not go away. We're going to come back, talk about what went down college and high school-wise this past weekend. Leave it here. This is Lions Radio.
Slow traffic continues. Both directions of Blue Water Bridge, east and westbound between the U.S. and Canada, due to the fact that it's being closed to non-essential traffic. Ongoing weekend work, 75 north and southbound. All lanes shut down between 94 and M.A. Davison Freeway until 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. I'm Dan Levy, WJR Traffic and Weather first.
Hear every Detroit Lions football game online from your PC or Mac at WJR.com.
Steve Courtney here. Are you still risking your retirement savings in the market? Then you need to talk to my friends Charles and David Bartman, the safer money professionals at Senior Financial Center.
Hi, this is David Bartman. Transfer retirement accounts, lump sum buyouts to your unique personal pension with a bonus and an annual compounded rate, guaranteed and insured.
Call Senior Financial Center at 800-452-0208 or visit srfcenter.com. Again, 800-452-0208.
You work, and so do we. We work on Alexa and Google Home. Just tell them to play 760 WJR. We work on your laptop or desktop at WJR.com. We work on your phone with the TuneIn or WJR apps. In fact, we work anywhere you are and any way you want to listen. So whenever you work and wherever you work, we're there working too. 760 WJR. Where Detroit comes to talk.
biggest challenge in football is putting a great team on the field. The second biggest is keeping them together. That's the difference with Bill Brown Ford in Livonia, with a winning staff of superstars for over 75 years in every position. From sales to service, whether you're looking for a new car, truck, SUV, or certified pre-owned vehicle, their service doesn't end at the sale. It begins there. That's why customers keep coming back to Bill Brown Ford in Livonia. So, who's your Ford dealer?
Wherever your family calls home, Blue Cross is here for you. By supporting and building healthy communities in every zip code, we're providing a healthier future for all of Michigan. For 81 years, we've kept this promise to help strengthen our neighbors, to stand by their side during the moments they need us most. We're here for it all, and always will be. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. Confidence comes with every card. To learn more, visit hereforitall.com.
Hi, I'm Larry Burns, President and CEO of the Children's Foundation. We are excited to announce that after our most recent round of grants, we have established more than 100 community-based partners that are all working to improve the health and wellness of children and their families. From Flint to Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo to Traverse City, the foundation is on the move. Learn more about this important work at yourchildrensfoundation.org. Onward.
The best contractors, the best electricians, period. That's what NECA Signatory Contractors and IBEW Local 58 electricians bring to each and every job. Quality work, rooted in consistent and ongoing training. Licensed, competent, safety-minded, productive. From traditional electrical work to the most intricate systems and new technologies, smart businesses partner with the NECA IBEW team. From traditional electrical to the most intricate new technologies. Connect with us for your next project at poweringmichigansfuture.com.
News Talk 760 WJR.
Steve Courtney, Sean Baligian here with you in Lions Radio Central. What are we doing? Well, we're counting you down. Lions playing host to Drew Brees and the Saints. By the way, the Lions have won 3 of the last 4 in this series. Hopefully that trend continues. Fascinating college action yesterday. Number 1, Clemson upends a shorthanded Virginia squad, 41-23. Trevor Lawrence, 329 yards to go along with 3 scores. They just do what they do.
He makes it look so easy. I mean, really, honest to goodness, he makes it look so easy. He can hurt you both ways. And they're, again, going to be one of the teams to beat when all is said and done.
And what was supposed to be a critical showdown, number 2 Alabama, number 13 Texas A&M, didn't really pan out that way. You see, Alabama, who will insert pretty darn good quarterbacks, they pop up like Pez in that dispenser. Remember those? Mac Jones, 435 yards to go along with 4 scores. Alabama wins it going away, 52-24.
I think a lot of people were really looking forward to this one because a lot of off-season hype, Steve, about A&M and Bama just doing Bama things.
Well, number 3, Florida. Gators are back, yes?
I think
so. Are
you
convinced?
I think so, yeah. I think so.
They improved to 2-0 in SEC play as they upend South Carolina 38-24. Last night, number 4, Georgia. What's going on with Auburn?
Yeah, there's
number 7,
one.
Really?
There's another one. You know, this was supposed to be, another really good Gus Malzahn team, and it didn't come to fruition. That was kind of the bummer. I mean, there were a couple games, Steve. You mentioned Alabama earlier that I think everybody was looking forward to if you're a big college football fan, and they were duds. I mean, if you had to find a good game, you had to look elsewhere.
The Dogs improved to 2-0 as they win at 27-6. One of the great names in college football, Stetson Bennett, the new Georgia quarterback, 240 yards to go along with a score. Number 9, Texas. Last week we were talking about the Longhorns being back. They had a bump in the road. TCU upends them, unranked. TCU 33-31, the final there.
We shouldn't be surprised. This happens to Texas on a year-by-year basis. And I think, Steve, we also have to have a real adult sit-down conversation about being back, because if you remember a few years ago, Texas was claiming they were back after they went 9-4. I'm sorry. 9-4 does not constitute back. It just doesn't. And, this has been Texas football for quite some time now.
Well, they were in a position to win this thing, but Keontae Ingram fumbles at the TCU goal line, 2:32 left. Oklahoma, they have issues. Now number 18 in the land. Iowa State knocks them off this time around 37-30. Oklahoma now 0-2 in Big 12 play.
What a shocker. I mean, it just seems like that has been their playground for so long. And, losing one, okay. Losing both of them, uh-oh.
You ready for some high school stuff?
Let's go.
Battle of the Unbeatens. This was the matchup. You know where I'm going. Clarkston rallies from a 14-point deficit, beats West Bloomfield in OT 24-21.
What a dandy that is. A beautiful Friday night in October. That's what it's all about. Clarkston's the real deal. Hey, don't count out that Laker team as well. I mean, too much talent. They've got arguably the best running back in the state. But a big win for the Clarkston Wolves.
Well, and according to the Michigan High School Athletic Association, as it relates to COVID, fans can return to the stands this coming Friday, October 9th, up to 1,000 per game. That's the way it is right now.
Yeah, it's been weird, Steve. I've been fortunate to do a game or two the last few weekends, and just seeing the sparse crowd is a little strange. So at least seeing a few more people in there, it's going to be pretty cool to see.
Meanwhile, we are getting you set for Lions football as they host the New Orleans Saints, and it is going to happen. You might have heard by now that Saints fullback and former Lion Michael Burton tested positive yesterday. He was retested, and it was negative. So game on, as they say. Hopefully you have your fantasy rosters in. It's about that time. Here's Sean.
Here's the Fantasy Football Report, brought to you by Hungry Howie's. Now get any 2 items from the Mix and Match menu for just $5.99 each. That's Hungry Howie's. Here's Sean Baligian.
Let's start with Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints. Yes, there are questions about Drew Brees' arm, but when all is said and done, this is a guy that has 760 yards, 6 touchdowns, and only an interception to start this season. He is still a good start. Arguably the best player in fantasy football right now, Alvin Kamara. He has been unbelievable. 3 rushing touchdowns. You add that with the 3 receiving touchdowns, an electrifying touchdown against the Green Bay Packers. You don't take him out of your lineup. Latavius Murray is an intriguing pick as well. He's kind of the change of pace guy. He isn't going to get involved in the passing game as much as Alvin is, but he's got 30 carries for 120 yards on the season. Now, what's interesting is the wide receivers for Drew Brees. Emmanuel Sanders has 8 receptions. 2 of them are for touchdowns. That's a guy that you might want to look at. Other than that, it's really kind of slim pickings. Traquan Smith has 10 receptions for 132 yards, hasn't gotten in the end zone yet, but you could think about him as well. Now, for the Lions, look, they had to get a win last week. They got the win. Matthew Stafford is a guy, as you well know, you picked him to be your starter. 811 yards, 5 touchdowns. He's still a good start. Adrian Peterson, a darn good start. Now, the interesting thing about Adrian Peterson is he hasn't gotten in the end zone yet. Does it happen this week? The guy is averaging nearly 5 yards a pop. As for Kerryon Johnson, DeAndre Swift, I think you think about them less and less for the time being. TJ Hawkinson, good start as always in a tight end must-start league. Waiting for Marvin Jones to have that blow-up game. He doesn't have bad numbers, but he doesn't have Marvin Jones numbers. I think Kenny Golladay, he showed he hasn't missed a beat. 6 receptions, 57 yards, his first game back and the touchdown. You keep him in your lineup. There could be some points scored in this game. It could benefit you to take a deeper look at some of the other guys involved in the Saints-Lions matchup. I'm Sean Baligian, and that is your Fantasy Football Report.
It's time for another page of the NFL Notebook, brought to you by Bill Brown Ford. Who's your Ford dealer? Here's Steve Courtney.
Well, this past Monday night's marquee matchup between the Kansas City Chiefs and Baltimore Ravens turned out to be, well, rather one-sided. Yes, indeed, the Chiefs win it big, 34-20. I thought we'd set aside some time to talk about the greatness that is Patrick Mahomes. How about this? He was 17 of 21 for 219 yards and 3 touchdowns. Folks, that's against the blitz. Meanwhile, he finishes 31 of 42 for 385 yards and 4 touchdowns. This guy has a magic bag, which is unbelievable. Did you see the underhanded shovel pass that went for a 5-yard touchdown pass to Anthony Sherman? Not to mention the 2-yard touchdown pass to offensive tackle Eric Fisher. Mahomes, in his 34th regular season start, for those of you keeping score at home, completed a 13-yard pass to the fine tight end Travis Kelce in the first quarter. That put him over the 10,000-yard mark. Kurt Warner had the old record at 36 games. Mahomes, by the way, in his first season as a starter back in 2018, became only the second quarterback in NFL history to throw for 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns in one season. Folks, we are watching some great things. And at this particular point in time, maybe you have to ask yourself, if you're a National Football League franchise, are you good enough to beat the Chiefs? We shall see. They've got a challenge coming up this very afternoon, as a matter of fact, as they host the 2-1 Patriots at 4:25. That's NFL Notebook. I'm Steve Courtney.
For a roundup of the Lions' NFC North rivals, here's Exploring the North with Chris Renwick.
The 0 for Vikings are in Houston today to take on the Texans, and they're trying to build off some of the good things that happened in last week's loss to the Titans. Minnesota racked up yards on the ground to the tune of 226. Dalvin Cook had his best rushing day of his career, picking up 181 yards and a score. Rookie receiver Justin Jefferson absolutely broke out, snagging 7 catches for 175 yards and a score, and has now turned into, quite honestly, a perfect complement to Adam Thielen on the other side. But the story for this year's Vikings team may be found on the defensive side of the ball. Over the last few seasons, Minnesota has been known as a very defensive-minded team first. They were stingy and stout, and anytime you played them, you knew it was going to be a slugfest. But so far this year, they've been almost the exact opposite, giving up 43, 28, and 31 points over their last 3 games. Now, following the game last week against Tennessee, the NFL announced 3 Titans players and 5 team personnel tested positive for COVID-19, forcing the Titans to close down facilities and move their game that was scheduled for this week to later in the season. The Vikings were somehow able to escape any major contractions, so kickoff for Vikings-Texans will go ahead as scheduled for 1 o'clock today. Now, I told you at the start of the year that the Le'Shawn Mitch Trubisky was short after he won the quarterback battle against Nick Foles in the offseason. And apparently, only took 3 games for head coach Matt Nagy to make the change at the position. Chicago found themselves down 16 in the third quarter to the Falcons in ATL last weekend. And that's when Nagy pulled the plug on Trubisky and threw in Foles. Now, then Foles promptly threw 3 touchdown passes to Allen Robinson, Jimmy Graham, and in the waning minutes to Anthony Miller, to give Chicago a 30-26 win, keeping them perfect on the year. Foles finished the day 16 for 29 for 188 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 pick. Nagy says they'll roll with Foles, who once again came in a tough spot and was clutch. Yeah, where have we seen that before? The Packers are 3-0 heading into Monday night's matchup against the winless Falcons, and they've got some injury issues with 2 of their top skill players on the offensive side of the ball. Allen Lazard, who's turned into a pretty reliable weapon for Aaron Rodgers, has had surgery on a core muscle injury, so according to reports, he'll be out for at least a month. Lazard's racked up a team-leading 254 receiving yards through the air the first 3 games, tack on 2 trips to the end zone, and that'll be some tough production Green Bay will miss over the next few games. Now, opposite Lazard, Devontae Adams is trying to get right after a hamstring injury he caught in the game against the Lions a couple of weeks ago. And Adams says, look, he's not going to get back on the field unless he's 100%, so that'll leave guys like Marquez Valdez-Scantling and an inexperienced receiving core like Tyler Ervin, Darius Shepard, and Malik Taylor to field catches from Rodgers. That's this edition of Exploring the North. I'm Chris Renwick.
Now let's go around the league. Here's Michael Stats.
It was a battle between the winless Jets and Broncos on Thursday night, and somebody's O had to go.
Rippon's got the ball. He tosses. End zone. Right side. Caught. Touchdown, Tim Patrick. Rippon with a strike, and the Broncos build on their lead. Rippon has looked sharp.
I am impressed.
That was Ian Eagle and Ross Tucker of Westwood One on the call. Brett Rippon, in his first start for Denver, led the Broncos to a 37-28 victory over the Jets with a pair of touchdown passes on the night, including a 48-yarder to rookie wideout Jerry Jeudy and one to Tim Patrick, who reeled in 6 grabs for 113 yards. Rippon's performance, however, was not free of blemishes. The second-year quarterback out of Boise State threw 3 interceptions, including a pick 6. After the game, Rippon said more than anything, he was happy the Broncos got the W.
I think first and foremost, we got the win. That was the goal coming into tonight. That's what I wanted to do. And, that feels really good. As far as the mistakes go, there was 2 of them that, shouldn't have happened. The one, obviously, with me rolling out, that never should happen. That's completely on me. And then the one over the middle to Bennett, I thought the guy made a pretty good play undercutting it, but, still a bad decision. I got to see the guy coming across. The other one, like I said, they played a trap coverage that I had really never seen before, and it was a good call by them, and the corner made a good play in the right situation. Thankfully, we were able to beat them on it later in the game. But no, I'm thinking about we got the win tonight, and I'm feeling pretty good about it.
Now 1-3, the Broncos face the New England Patriots in Week 5.
The Chicago Bears.
Bears head coach Matt Nagy made the switch from Mitch Trubisky to back up Nick Foles in last week's come-from-behind win over the Atlanta Falcons. Foles finished that game with 3 touchdown passes in the fourth quarter, leading Chicago back from a 16-point deficit. On Monday, Nagy made the move to Foles permanent.
We decided that we're going to start Nick Foles as a starter against Indianapolis. So both quarterbacks are aware of that. I know it's, for us, it's never easy. When you go into these type of situations, I want to credit both of those guys in yesterday's situation for being really supportive of each other this whole time, even as hard as that was for Mitch to be told that, Nick's going to go in and play. Mitch was, to his credit, was just an awesome supporter of Nick the rest of that game. And he flat out told Nick, I'm going to have your back just like you've had mine.
Foles faces the Indianapolis Colts this week and head coach Frank Reich. Reich was his offensive coordinator while winning Super Bowl 52 with the Eagles. While speaking of his up-and-down journey in the NFL this week, Foles credited Reich, among others, for being in his corner.
I've been very blessed throughout my life, whenever I've had tough times or had trials, to not only have my faith there to grow from, but to have people like Frank and other people to lift me up and be there for me. And I can do that for others as well. And that's really why I play the game, is you get an opportunity to instill confidence and calmness with your teammates and your coaches in a chaotic moment. And that's just something throughout the years, going through trials, going through tough times, and that is just equipped. And, it's never fun to go through those tough times, but it's a big reason while stepping in those moments that I just don't worry about it too much. I just go out there and be fearless as much as I can be.
The Tennessee Titans.
After a COVID-19 outbreak among several players and the coaching staff earlier this week, the Titans were forced to close down their facility in Nashville. The NFL has now rescheduled their Week 4 matchup against the Pittsburgh Steelers to October 25th. With their bye week coming now, Tennessee will be forced to play 13 consecutive games to close out the season. Here's head coach Mike Vrabel on preparing the team for what lies ahead.
We're focused on, as a team right now, is using these next few days like we would our normal bye week to mentally and physically prepare ourselves for a push for the rest of the season. That's what I explained to the team. I was part of a team in 2001 that had after the 9/11 incident, played 14 straight games and won the Super Bowl that year. So however many we have to play in a row, that's what we'll prepare for. But our singular focus is on the next week, which would be Buffalo.
The undefeated Titans face the Buffalo Bills at home in Week 5. That's this week's Around the League. I'm Michael Stetz.
All right, Michael, appreciate your efforts there. Meanwhile, let me just bring to light some more information as it relates to my NFL notebook. This is a statement from the National Football League as it pertains to the New England-Kansas City game. That particular tilt, again, scheduled for 4:25 today, will be rescheduled to either tomorrow or Tuesday night after positive COVID-19 tests on both teams. Stick around. We will have all the very latest for you as it becomes available from the league. Meanwhile, the Lions' health is improving a great deal. The same cannot be said about the New Orleans Saints. We'll have that injury report coming up. This is Lions Radio.
Hey, Lions fans. Want to be at Ford Field for every home game this season? You still can. Show your Lions pride with a custom fan cutout. All proceeds benefiting Detroit Lions charities. For more information or to purchase, visit DetroitLions.com/cutouts. Go Lions!
Before he talks to anyone else, Matt Patricia talks to Lomas Brown after the game on 760 WJR.
Make sure you visit DetroitLions.com for the latest Lions news, analysis, access, and more. Lions insider Tim Twentyman, along with Lions columnist Mike O'Hara, break down every aspect of today's game and the Lions' next opponent. That's only at the official online home of your Lions, DetroitLions.com.
Want to join in on the Lions game action from the comfort of your own home? Now's your chance with Lions Bingo, presented by BetMGM. Available on the Detroit Lions app. Join in on the predictive game and be eligible to win cash prizes and future all-expenses-paid trips. For more games and Lions content, download the Lions mobile app today. Available on both iOS and Android. Go Lions!
Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR. Coach Matt Patricia talks to Paul W. Smith Tuesday morning at 7:05 on Lions Radio 760 WJR.
Make sure you visit DetroitLions.com for the latest Lions news, analysis, access, and more. Lions insider Tim Twentyman, along with Lions columnist Mike O'Hara, break down every aspect of today's game and the Lions' next opponent. That's only at the official online home of your Lions, DetroitLions.com. Make sure you visit DetroitLions.com for the latest Lions news, analysis, access, and more. Lions insider Tim Twentyman, along with Lions columnist Mike O'Hara, break down every aspect of today's game and the Lions' next opponent. That's only at the official online home of your Lions, DetroitLions.com.
Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR.
Hey, Lions fans. Want to be at Ford Field for every home game this season? You still can. Show your Lions pride with a custom fan cutout. All proceeds benefiting Detroit Lions charities. For more information or to purchase, visit DetroitLions.com/cutouts. Go Lions!
Make sure you visit DetroitLions.com for the latest Lions news, analysis, access, and more. Lions insider Tim Twentyman, along with Lions columnist Mike O'Hara, break down every aspect of today's game and the Lions' next opponent. That's only at the official online home of your Lions, DetroitLions.com.
Before he talks to anyone else, Matt Patricia talks to Lomas Brown after the game on 760 WJR. Coach Matt Patricia talks to Paul W. Smith Tuesday morning at 7:05 on Lions Radio 760 WJR.
Wiggly's has been a fan favorite since 1924. So when you're planning your next Lions tailgate party, ask the critical question. Is it Wiggly's? For more info, go to Wiggly's.com. That's Wiggly's.com.
Lions Radio 760 WJR.
Ladies and gentlemen, this injury report is brought to you by the Henry Ford Health System, the official healthcare provider of your Detroit Lions. Call 1-800-HENRY-FORD or visit henryford.com/teamdocs. All right, there is one Lion out for this tilt against the Saints. That would be safety C.J. Moore, been battling that calf. Now, tight end Hunter Bryant, defensive lineman Deshaun Hand, linebacker Christian Jones. He was a late ad, by the way. Cornerback Darrell Roberts and cornerback Desmond Trufant, all listed as questionable. Christian Jones did not practice on Friday. The good news here, Desmond Trufant limited practice on Friday. He is expected to go. Meanwhile, quickly, let's take a look at what the Saints got going on. They are banged up. As I mentioned at the beginning of the countdown, their fine all-pro wide receiver, Michael Thomas, he is out. Both their starting corners are out. Marshawn Lattimore, as well as Janoris Jenkins. Defensive end Marcus Davenport will not go. Tight end Jared Cook will not go. Left guard Andrus Peat will not go. So the Lions certainly with opportunity to keep the momentum going. Let's talk about it with our friend Tori Petrie from DetroitLions.com. Tori, how are you?
Hey guys, I am so happy that we're having a game today. Got a little nervous there for a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm glad everything, it was just a false alarm.
A few hours ago, as you talk about the situation with the fullback Michael Burton, the former Lion, didn't know because had there been a positive test to go in that retesting, probably wouldn't be teeing it up today. But you know what, Tori? It's just the way it's going to be, I think, for the remainder of this 2020 season.
Yeah, absolutely. And you look back to training camp when Matthew Stafford was put on that COVID-19 reserve list and it was a false positive. That changed the way the NFL did all of this. And after that, you had to have 2 positives in a row where they would test the same sample and make sure that it was, in fact, a positive. And that protocol was used this weekend with the positive that the Saints had, and it turned out to be a false positive. And that's the reason we're having a game today. So, you know, really it goes back to Matthew Stafford's situation in training camp, right, which is why the protocols worked for us to know that that was a false positive today.
You know, it's almost like the officials on the field. I don't mind when they have the confab, get the call right. They got the diagnosis right today. Let's go. Let's play. And Tori, heading into this one, I mean, there are still so many questions, not only here in Ford Field, but around the National Football League about Drew Brees' arm. What I do know is this guy is still all kinds of explosive in tandem with his star running back.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you cannot count Alvin Kamara out of this game or any game. Obviously, they're missing Michael Thomas, like you said, in that injury report. But it is really a positive, for the Saints that they've still got Drew Brees and Alvin Kamara. They might be missing their top wide receiver, but Alvin Kamara can catch balls out of the backfield. And we saw him against the Packers last week. I mean, he must have dodged 20 missed tackles on his touchdown run that I think went for 52 yards. That's just the kind of way that he can hurt you. And so the Lions have got to wrap up today. They've got to bring guys down. They cannot let those tackles slip away because Alvin Kamara can take it to the house if you let him get away.
Tori, the Lions have won 3 of 4 in this series against the New Orleans Saints, and there have been some wild ones. As a matter of fact, defensively, the Saints are allowing just under 31 points per game. You certainly get the indication that this could be yet another track meet today.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the Saints are missing their top 2 cornerbacks, which you mentioned again in that injury report. That is huge today for Detroit. I mean, the Saints being out there starting wide receiver, but they've still got Drew Brees, Alvin Kamara. That offense can still do big things. We've seen them do that, but this Lions offense has an opportunity today for sure because of those injuries on the Saints side of the ball. I expect Kenny Golladay to have a big day today. Matthew Stafford should as well, just because of all the injuries that the Saints have on their side of the ball. So we could definitely see a shootout.
No, and, Tori, to that point, I mean, you'd love to see the Lions put together some consistent drives because it's almost as if we've seen it in spurts this year, where they look like it's rolling and then it stops. This might be a day where you work out all those kinks and you can take advantage of some situations afforded to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Last week, they really struggled in the red zone. They were 2 for 5 in the red zone, last week against the Arizona Cardinals. Obviously, they still came away with the win. Everybody appreciated that. But when you get into situations like this against a high-powered offense, sometimes field goals just aren't going to cut it. And, thank goodness you've got an amazing field goal kicker and great punter as well, by the way. But you don't want to rely on those special teams units all the time. You need to be able to get 6 points when you get into the red zone.
How soon before you think we see the first Jack Fox jersey out and about?
I don't know, man. I mean, I think if there were fans in Ford Field today that we'd see some. I really do, because Jack Fox is on fire. NFC Special Teams Player of the Month for a Lions punter, first time ever. Amazing. He's on fire.
And a fine young man. Tori, thank you so much for your time as always.
Thanks, guys.
All right, our friend Tori Petrie from DetroitLions.com helping us to break it down as we count you down to the Lions and Saints coming up momentarily. Don't go away. More of the countdown coming up for you. This is Lions Radio.
Lions fans, want to be at Ford Field for every home game this season? You still can. Show your Lions pride with a custom fan cutout. All proceeds benefiting Detroit Lions charities. For more information or to purchase, visit DetroitLions.com/cutouts. Go Lions!
Make sure you visit DetroitLions.com for the latest Lions news, analysis, access, and more. Lions insider Tim Twentyman, along with Lions columnist Mike O'Hara, break down every aspect of today's game and the Lions' next opponent. That's only at the official online home of your Lions, DetroitLions.com.
Coach Matt Patricia talks to Paul W. Smith Tuesday morning at 7:05 on Lions Radio 760 WJR. Before he talks to anyone else, Matt Patricia talks to Lomas Brown after the game on 760 WJR.
Want to join in on the Lions game action from the comfort of your own home? Now's your chance with Lions Bingo, presented by BetMGM. Available on the Detroit Lions app. Join in on the predictive game and be eligible to win cash prizes and future all-expenses-paid trips. For more games and Lions content, download the Lions mobile app today. Available on both iOS and Android. Go Lions!
Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR.
Hey Lions fans, want to be at Ford Field for every home game this season? You still can. Show your Lions pride with a custom fan cutout. All proceeds benefiting Detroit Lions charities. For more information or to purchase, visit DetroitLions.com/cutouts. Go Lions!
Make sure you visit DetroitLions.com for the latest Lions news, analysis, access, and more. Lions insider Tim Twentyman, along with Lions columnist Mike O'Hara, break down every aspect of today's game and the Lions' next opponent. That's only at the official online home of your Lions, DetroitLions.com.
Before he talks to anyone else, Matt Patricia talks to Lomas Brown after the game on 760 WJR.
Want to join in on the Lions game action from the comfort of your own home? Now's your chance with Lions Bingo, presented by BetMGM. Available on the Detroit Lions app. Join in on the predictive game and be eligible to win cash prizes and future all-expenses-paid trips. For more games and Lions content, download the Lions mobile app today. Available on both iOS and Android. Go Lions!
Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR.
Hey Lions fans, want to be at Ford Field for every home game this season? You still can. Show your Lions pride with a custom fan cutout. All proceeds benefiting Detroit Lions charities. For more information or to purchase, visit DetroitLions.com/cutouts. Go Lions!
Day to get away. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. It's a new day. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com.
News Talk 760 WJR.
Well, the Sam Bernstein Law Firm is the official legal team of the Detroit Lions Radio Network, Michigan's first family of law. 1-800-CALL SAM. Your Lions getting set. Drew Brees, the New Orleans Saints. The countdown continues. Obviously, no fans at Ford Field, but that doesn't mean they will not have the crucial catch game. That is today as we try and raise valuable resources to beat cancer. And with that being said, happy to have with us on our line Al Randall. Al has been the radio voice of Michigan hockey. You know that for 25 years. He is also a stage 4 cancer survivor. Al, how are you today?
Steve, great. I'm just wondering, of course, we haven't been broadcasting hockey yet. Our season hasn't been set, but I'm wondering what it's like as a broadcaster when you a lot of your excitement and passion is tied to fans inside of the stadium. How you guys are doing?
Well, for us, here in Lions Radio Central, Al, we just do what we do. And I certainly miss being at Ford Field with Lions Nation, celebrating, game day Sundays. And it is different. And I know that right around the corner, as you continue your work at Michigan, you're going to experience it. I don't know what the protocol is going to be for that. But Al, while we have you on, and we are so happy that you have been able to defeat this dreaded opposition, cancer. And you, sir, had a rough road for a second.
Well, I really did, Steve. It was kind of, I thought I was coming down with some type of a strep throat. And, and being a broadcaster, as you guys all know, you take care of your voice. And any little sign, you're usually trotting off to your local doctor to get some type of an antibiotic, which I did twice. And in a month span in January in 2018, the antibiotics weren't touching this bump I had on the side of my neck. And it didn't hurt. It wasn't affecting my voice, but I was sent by Dr. Patrick Hennessy of the Mid-Michigan ENT in the Lansing area. He sent me down to Dr. Chang and his great team of oncologists down at Henry Ford. And they discovered, they all did, that I had stage 4 cancer. It was a cancer to the base of the tongue. And it was very serious, obviously. The one thing that I remember them saying is don't worry about the terms we use, stage this and stage that. Stage 4, you have stage 4A. And it's pretty much, if I remember the words, is we know exactly what we're up against and we can kill it. And they did.
Al, what goes through your mind when that happens? Unfortunately, we've all had a loved one that has been touched by this. That's just the horror of cancer. But what went through your mind when this happened? Because people can say all that, but in the back of your mind, you're thinking to yourself, are you kidding me?
Exactly. Sean, you hit it right on the head. I listened to what they told me. I went out to the car and I sat there and I didn't drive it. I didn't go anywhere for about a half an hour. I was just sitting there going, wow, did I just dream that? Or is it really happening? Well, it was really happening. And the big question I had, I was right in the middle of a hockey season. And I didn't know whether I had to stop. And, stage 4, you're going to stop right now. You're going to continue what you're doing. Well, the great team of professionals there at Henry Ford, they assured me that waiting until the end of the season was not going to affect the treatment and probably not affect the outcome. And so I did everything they could. And as much and as great as the doctors and the treatments are, every cancer patient needs one thing. They need support from their friends and family. I got that 1,000% from people that I know that I went to college with, from people that I work with, to my wife, who spent a lot of times in the car for 6 weeks. We went from the Lansing area all the way to Henry Ford every single day for radiation treatment.
Everything you've been through, Al, let me ask you this. How has it changed you from the diagnosis to beating this dreaded disease?
Boy, oh boy, that's a loaded question. I could spend an hour in that answer, but basically, Steve, what you're looking at is like you were. It's a rebirth of your whole life and the way you look at everything, and you don't take anything for granted anymore. You really don't. Every second, every minute. And, then I thought how selfish I had been in my life. You look back at those things, it's been all about me. I've been trying to make it all about other people. And I've actually volunteered with the American Cancer Society. And I spend one day away from my job here in the Lansing area. I have a windshield replacement business. I spend usually every Wednesday taking cancer patients to get their treatments.
That's awesome.
God bless you, Al.
And we are so happy for you that it's turned out the way it has, Al. And honorary captain for the Lions against the Saints as the Lions once again celebrate the crucial catch game. And congratulations, sir. We're so very happy for you and your family, of course.
Guys, I always listen to you. I'm a big Lions fan. My dad had season tickets when he was on this earth for 50 years. And I remember the walk down Trumbull Avenue from Fife Electric to Briggs Stadium at the time. So you guys take care. Thanks for having me on today. And I hope maybe that this cancer thing eventually will go away. It may not, but I'll tell you what, they got the ammunition to defeat it now.
Amen.
All right.
Look
Thank
forward
you
to hearing
very
you on
much,
the call
Al.
as well, Al. Take care.
Great chatting with you, my friend. That's Al Randall. Again, he has been the voice of Michigan hockey for some 25 years. And I would imagine when you've been through what he's been through, you do have a tendency to look at life a little bit differently.
Oh, absolutely. True gentleman. I think he's tremendous at what he does, and certainly has been an inspiration to many even before this. And boy, he brings up such a great point, Steve. You really wonder how, different life looks now for a guy like Al and for people that have been through this and have been able to get over that hill, so to speak.
Again, Al Randall, the honorary captain for the crucial catch game today as the Lions host the New Orleans Saints. And I think the NFL does a fine job in bringing awareness to defeating this dreaded disease, because you hit it right on the head there, Pards. Everybody has a friend, a family member who has gone through it. And, let's keep throwing some dough at it and see what happens.
It's a terrible, just a terrible disease. And watching somebody go through it is just awful. And it's unrelenting. That's the thing. And so let's keep fighting.
All right. We've got more of the countdown coming up for you. Don't touch that dial. This is Lions Radio.
Make sure you visit DetroitLions.com for the latest Lions news, analysis, access, and more. Lions insider Tim Twentyman, along with Lions columnist Mike O'Hara, break down every aspect of today's game and the Lions' next opponent. That's only at the official online home of your Lions, DetroitLions.com.
Hey, Lions fans. Want to be at Ford Field for every home game this season? You still can. Show your Lions pride with a custom fan cutout. All proceeds benefiting Detroit Lions charities. For more information or to purchase, visit DetroitLions.com/cutouts. Go Lions!
Want to join in on the Lions game action from the comfort of your own home? Now's your chance with Lions Bingo, presented by BetMGM. Available on the Detroit Lions app. Join in on the predictive game and be eligible to win cash prizes and future all-expenses-paid trips. For more games and Lions content, download the Lions mobile app today. Available on both iOS and Android. Go Lions!
Coach Matt Patricia talks to Paul W. Smith Tuesday morning at 7:05 on Lions Radio 760 WJR. Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR. Before he talks to anyone else, Matt Patricia talks to Lomas Brown after the game on 760 WJR. Coach Matt Patricia talks to Paul W. Smith Tuesday morning at 7:05 on Lions Radio 760 WJR. Coach Matt Patricia talks to Paul W. Smith Tuesday morning at 7:05 on Lions Radio 760 WJR.
Make sure you visit DetroitLions.com for the latest Lions news, analysis, access, and more. Lions insider Tim Twentyman, along with Lions columnist Mike O'Hara, break down every aspect of today's game and the Lions' next opponent. That's only at the official online home of your Lions, DetroitLions.com.
Hey, Lions fans. Want to be at Ford Field for every home game this season? You still can. Show your Lions pride with a custom fan cutout. All proceeds benefiting Detroit Lions charities. For more information or to purchase, visit DetroitLions.com/cutouts. Go Lions!
Want to join in on the Lions game action from the comfort of your own home? Now's your chance with Lions Bingo, presented by BetMGM. Available on the Detroit Lions app. Join in on the predictive game and be eligible to win cash prizes and future all-expenses-paid trips. For more games and Lions content, Download the Lions mobile app today. Available on both iOS and Android. Go Lions!
Before he talks to anyone else, Matt Patricia talks to Lomas Brown after the game on 760 WJR. Coach Matt Patricia talks to Paul W. Smith Tuesday morning at 7:05 on Lions Radio 760 WJR. Before he talks to anyone else, Matt Patricia talks to Lomas Brown after the
and
game
their
on
families.
760
From Flint to Grand
WJR.
Rapids, Kalamazoo to Traverse City, the foundation is on the move. Learn more about this important work at yourchildrensfoundation.org. Onward.
From the Golden Tower of the Fisher Building, the great voice of the Great Lakes, WJR Detroit, where Detroit comes to talk. This is the Detroit Lions Countdown to Kickoff on the Detroit Lions Radio Network.
Countdown to Kickoff is brought to you by the Sam Bernstein Law Firm, Ford Motor Company, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, Wallside Windows, Rinaldi Sausage, Galling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, DTE Energy, McLaren Healthcare, Hungry Howie's, Bill Brown Ford, Oxford Recovery Center, Guernsey Farms Dairy, the Children's Foundation, Henry Ford Medical Group, Senior Financial Center, Wigley's Famous Eastern Market Corned Beef, Must Construction Careers, and Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort.
Now, from Lions Radio Central, here are Steve Courtney and Sean Baligian.
Good morning, one and all. Hopefully you and yours doing well on this very fall-like Sunday morning. Oh, and it's a game day, by the way. Several hours ago, it was up in the air whether or not your Detroit Lions would be able to tee it up against the visiting Nolan Saints. Fullback Michael Burton, the former Lion, as a matter of fact, he was here in 2015, 2016. He, as it turns out, tested positive for COVID yesterday, or did he? After further review, we have a reversal. They retested Michael and he was negative. So look, this is football in 2020. Pure and simple.
It's the way it is. And you know what? I like what the NFL is doing, because the NFL is doing as baseball did. Don't get panic stricken. Don't shut things down. You know, there was that weekend in early August, Steve, where everybody thought that baseball was just going to get shut down. And, you know, you heard some murmurs based on not only Kansas City, New England, but, you know, this morning, oh, maybe this isn't a good idea. Just keep plowing forward. So that's the good news is, you know, number one, he's not positive. Nobody wants to see anybody get sick. And number two, he's not positive, and we can play some football today.
Yeah, and that's very exciting. And, you know, I do have this, by the way. The New England Kansas City tilt, originally scheduled for 4:25 this afternoon, has indeed been rescheduled to tomorrow night at 7 o'clock.
I don't mind that, pal.
A little doubleheader.
I don't mind. You know, I know there is a movement afoot to you know, perhaps bring a doubleheader to each and every Monday. You can pass on the 10:30 start. I you know, I mean, just one man's opinion. That's past my bedtime now, but no, I think that'll be a fun night.
Yeah, it'll be a nice night's entertainment. Obviously, the Patriots will be without Cam Newton, who, you know, tested positive. So we'll see. Getting closer to home here. Very important for the Lions to keep the momentum going. Look, pretty impressive deal. Them going to the desert a week ago and knocking off a then 2-0 Cardinal team in convincing fashion. Well, I say convincing because you had 0 defensive turnovers going into that tilt. You forced Kyler Murray into throwing 3 picks. You can't script that into each and every ball game. The Lions will have their work cut out defensively today.
They will. And you know what? It's a different kind of Saints offense. I mean, so much of it really is based on a fantastic running back and what he can do on the ground and what they can do in some of those shorter routes. Much has been made about Drew Brees' arm strength at the ripe old age of 41. And you know what? He hasn't done much to kind of dissuade some of that chatter from stopping. So with that being said, he's still Drew Brees. He's still got a fantastic mind. He's still putting up good numbers. And this is still a very dangerous, albeit beaten up New Orleans Saint team.
Meanwhile, Adrian Peterson, let's talk about him. He is el numero uno at that Lions running back position. 85 scrimmage yards last week. Now, here's where it gets interesting. He has 60-plus rushing yards in 2 of his last 3 against these Saints. Of course, he played against them quite often. He ranks 4th in NFL history with 111 rushing TDs and 5th with 14,425 rushing yards this past week. He said he wants to play till he's 40.
And
I'm not going to argue with him.
There's no way. How could you? I mean, the people were counting this guy out 3 years ago, for goodness sake. And if anything, Steve, I think he looks better than he has the last couple of years. I really do. And, this is a guy that he hasn't found the end zone yet. I have a feeling today might be the day. Today might be the day that he finds his way into pay dirt. Look, the Lions are still going to have to score some points in this game. And, the old adage about a wounded animal. New Orleans is wounded right now, and they're dangerous.
Well, they're also extremely shorthanded. They are coming in without their 2 starting corners. Obviously, the great tight end or the great wide receiver, Michael Thomas, unable to go. But Marshawn Lattimore and Janoris Jenkins, they're not going either. So listen, this is an opportunity for the Lions when they get into the red zone. Unlike a week ago, 5 trips, you got to count on 3 Matt Prater field goals. You got to get 6.
Well, that's where Kenny Golladay comes in. I mean, he's been such a big threat in the past, and I think you have to take advantage of that. I'd look for TJ Hawkinson a little bit more in that red zone area as well. Use that big body. And excuse me if I don't weep for the New Orleans Saints. I think the Lions know a little something, A, about injuries, and B, injuries to their defensive backfield. So this is the National Football League. Nobody's going to cry for you. Everybody's going to look to take advantage and exploit that weakness.
Certainly the Lions hoping to get to 2-2 before the bye week. That would be pretty huge. Steve Courtney, Sean Baligian here with you in Lions Radio Central. Right now, we hand things off to our colleague, Michael Stetz. He's having a sit down with the Saints radio play-by-play voice, Zach Strife. Michael? This is Lions Radio.
Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR. Coach Matt Patricia talks to Paul W. Smith Tuesday morning at 7:05 on Lions Radio 760 WJR.
Hey, Lions fans. Want to be at Ford Field for every home game this season? You still can. Show your Lions pride with a custom fan cutout. All proceeds benefiting Detroit Lions charities. For more information or to purchase, visit DetroitLions.com/cutouts. Go Lions!
Make sure you visit DetroitLions.com for the latest Lions news, analysis, access, and more. Lions insider Tim Twentyman, along with Lions columnist Mike O'Hara, break down every aspect of today's game and the Lions' next opponent. That's only at the official online home of your Lions, DetroitLions.com.
Want to join in on the Lions game action from the comfort of your own home? Now's your chance with Lions Bingo, presented by BetMGM. Available on the Detroit Lions app. Join in on the predictive game and be eligible to win cash prizes and future all-expenses-paid trips. For more games and Lions content, download the Lions mobile app today. Available on both iOS and Android. Go Lions!
Before he talks to anyone else, Matt Patricia talks to Lomas Brown after the game on 760 WJR. Coach Matt Patricia talks to Paul W. Smith Tuesday morning at 7:05 on Lions Radio 760 WJR. Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR. Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR.
It's a new day. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com.
Lions Radio 760 WJR.
Coming up right around the corner, your Lions hosting the New Orleans Saints. We've got plenty of information for you. Steve, Sean here in Lions Radio Central. Right now, we hand it off to our colleague, Michael Stetz. He's spending some time with the radio play-by-play voice of the aforementioned Saints. Michael?
All right, we head now to the opposing sideline to get a closer look at the Saints. We bring on play-by-play man of the Saints Radio Network, Zach Streve. Zach, how are you?
Doing well. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. The Saints off to a rough start here, 1-2. What do you think has led to the Saints' slow start in 2020 so far?
Yeah, it's slow and it's unexpected. Obviously, there's a lot of expectation this season for a group that's won 26 games over the last couple of years. And I think it's been pretty plain to see watching the first 3 games. It's been sloppy football, undisciplined, leading the National Football League in penalties right now. We have 9 defensive pass interference penalties. So, just a lot of sloppy football, which is surprising because this is largely a returning group, a veteran group, but certainly have not looked the part of a Super Bowl contender so far. Fortunately for them, there is still an immense amount of talent on this team, really across the board. But it's going to take cleaning up some of these sloppy things that they're doing. Had a turnover last week with an opportunity to go ahead against Green Bay. Late and in bad timing on penalties for the Saints so far. So they got to clean some of that stuff up, but I think they're still capable of doing that.
And the talk of Drew Brees' decline, is this greatly exaggerated here for the 41-year-old vet that's, certainly headed for the Hall of Fame when all is said and done? Is this talk of his demise exaggerated?
I think the talk of his demise is largely kind of lazy analysis. It's certainly not from watching tape. What you're not seeing is throws that aren't being completed. What you're seeing is not a lot of attempts down the field. But when you go back and start watching the tape, you're not finding open receivers that aren't getting the ball thrown to them. You've really seen, I think, especially with Green Bay last week, really taking away deep balls, playing over the top of everything. At the end of the day, you're also third in the National Football League in yards after the catch. He's getting the ball in the hands of guys. It's just not down the field. So I haven't necessarily seen a decline in terms of what he looks like throwing the football. The offense itself has certainly looked different than what people are used to in the past few years. But I think that, in time, as they kind of see defenses handle things differently, Green Bay last week said, Alvin Kamara, you beat us. And he almost did. And so you question, how many teams are going to take that same approach. And when they stop taking that approach, I think there'll be more things available for them down the field.
Do you get a sense that the feeling is for the Saints that they feel that window for another run of the Super Bowl with Peyton and Brees is shrinking?
Well, sure. I think they felt like that window has been shrinking for about 3 or 4 years now. First of all, I think Drew Brees has genuinely had to make a hard decision each of the last 3 years of whether he's coming back or not. That's certainly been his public statement, and knowing Drew, personally, he's not lying about it. I think he's getting into every offseason and trying to make, the decision of, can I still perform at the level that I need to help us win? Which of course is a moving target at times. But I think they are well aware that at some point it's, Drew's going to leave. The good thing for this football team is there's a ton of young talent around him. And when you look at the quarterback room for the Saints, yes, the window may be closing with Drew, but there's a couple of options there that give this team the potential after Drew to continue winning.
Alvin Kamara has just been fantastic. I mean, like you said, he was carrying the team on his back last weekend, that Sunday night game. That long touchdown was incredible. Tell me more about Kamara, fourth-year running back now. How does he keep consistently beating defenses? And it looks like it's just simple stuff. He's just catching the ball out of the backfield and just making guys miss and taking off down the field.
Yeah, I think the great ones make it all look very easy and simple, right?
Yeah.
You watch that guy run and bounce off people, and you go, oh, well, no one's even trying to tackle him. right? And the reality is very different than that. We saw Alvin play like this early last season. If you go back and watch the Seahawks game on the road against Seattle, coming off of a loss, and Drew Brees gets hurt, and Alvin Kamara almost won that game single-handedly. And right after that football game gets hurt, has a knee injury, played through it last year, kind of battled through it, but was not himself. He was not the Alvin Kamara that we had seen up to that point. And I think what you're seeing is Alvin getting healthy again. The danger to what's happening right now is I think you have to avoid giving Alvin the ball 25, 30 times a game. And we've certainly seen them do that since Mike Thomas got hurt. So they're going to have to ease up at some point. I think they're hoping he can carry that burden while Mike Thomas is out. But you're certainly looking to get him back into that, 15, 20 touch number. But Alvin's a phenomenal athlete, tremendous balance. I think a lot stronger than people realize until they see him in person. But you're absolutely right. Everything looks kind of nonchalant and easy, and he sure is a lot of fun for us to watch.
The Lions will definitely have their hands full with covering him today. Now, I want to go on the other side of the ball. The Saints' run defense continues to be one of the best in the league. I imagine they take a lot of pride in that. They haven't allowed a 100-yard rusher in a long time. Tell me how they continue to be consistent week in and week out with playing well against the run.
Yeah, it's certainly the focus of that defense. They want everything to start there, and they have. They've been phenomenal. And 45 games now without a 100-yard rusher given up. And you look into even like last week, you give the Packers a lot of credit. They stayed with the run throughout that football game, kept trying to kind of pound it, and averaged 3 a carry. And I think from a run defense standpoint, this defense now for going on 3 seasons has been phenomenal. They've been outstanding. It's a very difficult front to run on. It has not, unfortunately, been as hard to throw on.
Outstanding stuff, Zach. Appreciate it. The last time these two teams hooked up, it was a wild one. So I'm really looking forward to the matchup today. Appreciate the time.
Yes, it was. Absolutely. Looking forward to it. Thanks for having me.
All right, there he goes. Play-by-play man of the New Orleans Saints radio network, Zach Streif. We send it back now to Steve Courtney and Sean Baligian.
All right, Michael, appreciate it. Thank you very much, Zach, for your time as well as we continue to paint a picture. Your Lions and the Saints getting set to battle it out coming up in the moments ahead. First time Ford Field's been had the lights on in 3 weeks. Looking forward to that. We also have Kenny Brown getting set for another exciting installment of the Meeting Room. We'll have that and more as we continue. This is the Detroit Lions Radio Network. Want to join in on the Lions game action from the comfort of your own home? Now's your chance with Lions Bingo, presented by BetMGM. Available on the Detroit Lions app. Join in on the predictive game and be eligible to win cash prizes and future all-expenses-paid trips. For more games and Lions content, download the Lions mobile app today. Available on both iOS and Android. Go Lions!
Hey, Lions fans. Want to be at Ford Field for every home game this season? You still can. Show your Lions pride with a custom fan cutout. All proceeds benefiting Detroit Lions charities. For more information or to purchase, visit DetroitLions.com/cutouts. Go Lions!
Coach Matt Patricia talks to Paul W. Smith Tuesday morning at 7:05 on Lions Radio 760 WJR. Before he talks to anyone else, Matt Patricia talks to Lomas Brown after the game on 760 WJR. Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR.
Make sure you visit DetroitLions.com for the latest Lions news, analysis, access, and more. Lions insider Tim Twentyman, along with Lions columnist Mike O'Hara, break down every aspect of today's game and the Lions' next opponent. That's only at the official online home of your Lions, DetroitLions.com.
Hey, Lions fans. Want to be at Ford Field for every home game this season? You still can. Show your Lions pride with a custom fan cutout. All proceeds benefiting Detroit Lions charities. For more information or to purchase, visit DetroitLions.com/cutouts. Go Lions! Hey, Lions fans. Want to be at Ford Field for every home game this season? You still can. Show your Lions pride with a custom fan cutout. All proceeds benefiting Detroit Lions charities. For more information or to purchase, visit DetroitLions.com/cutouts. Go Lions!
Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR. Coach Matt Patricia talks to Paul W. Smith Tuesday morning at 7:05 on Lions Radio 760 WJR. Before he talks to anyone else, Matt Patricia talks to Lomas Brown after the game on 760 WJR.
Hey, Lions fans. Want to be at Ford Field for every home game this season? You still can. Show your Lions pride with a custom fan cutout. All proceeds benefiting Detroit Lions charities. For more information or to purchase, visit DetroitLions.com/cutouts. Go Lions!
Coach Matt Patricia talks to Paul W. Smith Tuesday morning at 7:05 on Lions Radio 760 WJR.
Wallside Windows is the official window company of the Detroit Lions radio network. We can do that. We are the factory. Time now for another exciting installment of The Meeting Room. Ken Brown playing host and Mr. Terrell Crosby. Kenny?
Now entering the meeting room, a sit-down with your favorite Detroit Lions. Here's Ken Brown.
Our special guest today, Terrell Crosby, offensive lineman, Detroit Lions. How you doing, Terrell?
I'm doing well. How are you?
All right. I just got to know, you like the jack of all trades, because as we go into the season, you were going to be the backup tackle on both sides. You ready to go. When did you find out that they were going to need you right away?
Kind of like the Friday before the game, Saturday before the game. Just pretty much told me to be ready. That's how I kind of took the outlook when he said that, just for me to have the opportunity to go in and just for me to be ready.
Now, I know you're supposed to have the mindset. Everybody has a mindset you could play at any play, but, I mean, you got to go against Chicago that Sunday. What goes on mentally with the player as he prepares for that start?
For me personally, last year when we played at Chicago, I ended up having to play, and I didn't do bad, didn't do great, but I just knew I can go in and handle what I need to handle and just take it one play at a time.
And it's got to be, I mean, wasn't an easy assignment either. You got Khalil Mack on the other side, one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. I mean, that would have kept me up this night before the game.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it was just an opportunity to go against one of the best in the NFL, and always a fun challenge. And that's what I took it as, just a challenge and do my best, really.
Well, you kept him off the quarterback, so that was the best deal at all. Is there a difference between playing guard and tackle? You've done both now in your career with the Lions.
Yeah, there's a big difference. Everything's happening quicker as a guard. The 3 tackle, like the D tackle, is on you quicker opposed to at the end. But yeah, there's just subtle differences that kind of separate the two.
Do you like having the one side free, having your right side free where you can, push guys around? And the inside seems to me when you're playing guard, you got 2 guys on you and you really got to look both ways to see what they're doing.
Exactly.
I was looking up your bio or whatever. You were born in Bountiful, Utah. Were you there a long time?
So, born in Bountiful, lived there, I think, 5 or 6 years. And then my parents ended up getting divorced. And after that, me and my siblings and my mom moved out to Henderson, Nevada.
Now, I've never been to Bountiful, but I just can't imagine any crime in that town just by the name. Is it as beautiful as it sounds?
I absolutely loved it. It was a great little city, smaller town outside, just north of Salt Lake, probably like 10, 15 minutes north of Salt Lake.
Wow.
Most of my family still lives there, so I go visit there frequently.
You visit Bountiful. I mean, where you at, Terrell? I'm in Bountiful this weekend. And again, a lot of guys come from schools like, Mellon Tech, Gruff Tech, whatever. You went to high school, Green Valley High School. You just have all these names where the places you go. Green Valley. I mean, come on, Terrell.
Well, the best part about that, we're in the desert and there's no green anywhere.
No Green Valley, huh?
No.
Oh, wow. It sounds great, though. Well, anyway, like I said, you're doing your 3rd year now. The team finally got that victory it needed. I know you've been in the league 3 years now. I know you think that the Lions play Arizona every year, but that's just not the case. It just happened since you got there, so you can go back, out that way.
Yeah. It's been interesting. 3 years in a row going to play in Arizona. But for me, I loved it. Just going back to the Southwest. So it's nice.
You got a big opponent coming this week at the New Orleans Saints, where you guys can get back to the 500 mark. This is kind of a big game.
Yeah, it's going to be a great game and a great challenge because for us, it's to get us back to 500. But for me personally, it's just another great challenge going against their DNs. They're both talented, and it'll be a fun game.
Have you been working with Big V now for 1 week? Big V is doing the guard play now since the injuries happened. It's kind of a difference than working with Jackson, who played the first game on that side. How are you guys communicating and getting together on that?
Yeah, it's been awesome getting to work beside V, just getting to know the knowledge he has because he's been in the league longer than I have, and just him telling me a little, just small little tricks. So it's been fun going throughout this week, having them by my side.
Now, it's usually the tackle's the taller and the bigger one than the guard. This time, I think B's a little bigger than you, isn't he? So it's like the big guy's on the inside now.
He's a massive human.
Do you ever tell him, just make sure you don't follow me? Wherever way you go the other way. I really think the Lions are about to turn a corner with this thing. I think you guys, there was no preseason. It had to hurt a little bit as you guys were starting the season. You feel like now that you've got some games under your belt now, you're starting to see that cohesiveness?
Yeah, having the no preseason was definitely an adjustment. And for the most part, I feel like we handled it well. Though our record might not show it, I feel like a lot of guys went into training camp just really excited to get back on the field and just get back to playing football, really. So, yeah, it was an adjustment, definitely. But I feel like the more games we play and the more we have play games as a unit, as an O-line and an offense, the better we'll become.
Are you worried about the after play and after practice thing? The Titans game this week has been canceled, and it just, any time something like that could happen. Do you guys think about that in the back of your head?
It's impossible not to think about it because it is a global pandemic right now, but really just got to be mindful and just be smart and respectful of your teammates when you're outside the building. Just because, when we're in here, everyone's being tested and everyone's doing all the things they can inside the building. The most important is when you get outside the building, just respecting your teammates by being smart, continue wearing your mask and just not putting yourself at risk, because then you're putting your teammates at risk as well.
Well, I know you've been doing a lot of activities outside the field too. Are you still doing your voters' rights activities you're doing? How's that coming along?
Yeah, so it's still some Zoom calls and just really trying to use my social media just to get the attention of people, especially young voters, to just get out and vote regardless of who you're going to vote for. For me, it's really important in college. My major is pretty much public policy, so it's just something I'm really into.
Right.
A big year. Just not football-wise, but government-wise and pretty much history-wise. So want everybody to take the opportunity to get out and vote.
Well, that's a good thing, and I appreciate it. I'm sure the fans out there appreciate it because, like you said, to me, that's one of the main things we have as Americans is the vote. So I'm glad you're doing that, Terrell. Before you go, you come into the meeting room. I got a question for you. Are you ready for our meeting room question this year?
Hopefully.
All right, here we go. Since we've been on lockdown all this time, what is your go-to TV show? What have you been binging on?
Go-to TV show would probably have to be beginning of pandemic, when lockdown first happened, was Tiger King. Towards the back end of it, it's a Hulu show called Crossing Swords. More like adult humor, but I found it hilarious.
All right, yeah, I haven't seen that one. I checked it out. I've seen Tiger King, so I'll check out Crossing Swords. I'm gonna say you recommended me now when I watch this. Okay. All right, it's been a pleasure. Good luck this weekend against the Saints. Terrell Crosby, offensive tackle, Detroit Lions. Thanks a lot for coming in the meeting room.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Kenny, Terrell, thank you very much. It's interesting. These players that go into the meeting room with KB, they kind of freak out when he gets set to ask the question, because it'd be just about anything. TV shows, movies, this, that, or the other thing. Fascinating.
Yeah, and Tiger King, doesn't that seem like about 10 years ago now when that was all the rage? That's how long we've been under this umbrella.
Yeah, that was very early on in the quarantine process. You're right. It does seem like
very strange.
A decade ago.
Yeah, it does.
And it continues. The Lions and Saints are going to be playing football at Ford Field. A few hours ago, kind of up in the air. Fullback Michael Burton, former Lion, tested positive yesterday, but he really didn't. Turned out to be a false positive, so we are playing football. And just a reminder for your planning purposes, according to the National Football League, the Patriots-Chiefs tilt scheduled for 4:25 this afternoon because of COVID will be played at 7:05 tomorrow night. So there you go. That's going to be some good viewing.
Got a couple of dandies tomorrow. It's going to be a fun night tomorrow night. It's going to be a fun day today.
Looking forward to it. And it sure would be nice to have Matt Patricia and these Lions at 2-2 at the bye week. Something that maybe when they began 0-2, a lot of people didn't think possible. And I think it's within their reach today. I really do. You know what? Let me just say this. I have a good feeling.
Listen. How can't you right now? I mean, the way that the Saints are banged up, and Steve, just to reiterate, if you told me a week ago the Lions might be 2-2 at the bye, I would have looked at you like, "What the heck's wrong with you?" I mean, just a week ago, everything was amiss with this team. It's amazing what winning can do.
No question about it. We'll have our conversation. Well, first of all, the inactive list is on the horizon, don't you know? We'll also have our conversation with our NFL insider, Tim Twentyman from DetroitLions.com. This is Lions Radio.
Before he talks to anyone else, Matt Patricia talks to Lomas Brown after the game on 760 WJR.
Make sure you visit DetroitLions.com for the latest Lions news, analysis, access, and more. Lions insider Tim Twentyman, along with Lions columnist Mike O'Hara, break down every aspect of today's game and the Lions' next opponent. That's only at the official online home of your Lions, DetroitLions.com.
Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR.
Want to join in on the Lions game action from the comfort of your own home? Now's your chance with Lions Bingo, presented by BetMGM. Available on the Detroit Lions app. Join in on the predictive game and be eligible to win cash prizes and future all-expenses-paid trips. For more games and Lions content, download the Lions mobile app today. Available on both iOS and Android. Go Lions!
Coach Matt Patricia talks to Paul W. Smith Tuesday morning at 7:05 on Lions Radio 760 WJR.
Hey, Lions fans. Want to be at Ford Field for every home game this season? You still can. Show your Lions pride with a custom fan cutout. All proceeds benefiting Detroit Lions charities. For more information or to purchase, visit DetroitLions.com/cutouts. Go Lions! Hey, Lions fans. Want to be at Ford Field for every home game this season? You still can. Show your Lions pride with a custom fan cutout. All proceeds benefiting Detroit Lions charities. For more information or to purchase, visit DetroitLions.com/cutouts. Go Lions!
And Rush Limbaugh, Guy Gordon, and Mitch Albom, 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk. News Talk 760 WJR.
Well, today's inactive list is brought to you by Oxford Recovery Center, where healing begins. All right, here we go. Unable to go for your Detroit Lions today would be the fine cornerback Chris Jones, C.J. Moore, safety, Elijah Lee, linebacker, Logan Stenberg, the offensive lineman, and the tight end Hunter Bryant. That means Desmond Trufant, for the first time over the last couple, will be in the lineup for your Detroit Lions. This NFL Insider is brought to you by Must Construction Careers. We bring in our good friend Tim Twentyman, DetroitLions.com. Tim, how are you? We're playing football, as it turns out, today, huh?
Yeah, I'm here at Ford Field. We're playing football. Everything's good on this Sunday.
That's what we like to hear. Wasn't that way a few hours ago when this whole Michael Burton situation came up, that he indeed tested positive, and a couple of other Saints players were going to be tested. Turns out Michael Burton was retested. He was negative, and welcome to today's National Football League, Tim.
Well, yeah. Well, look, Detroit Lions had a similar situation, if you remember, back with Matthew Stafford and his false positive. Right. So, look, that's why the protocols are in place. They have a procedure for all this. The Saints did it by the book. They did everything right. They did their contract tracing. They redid Michael Burton's test. He needed 2 negatives to kind of confirm that was a false positive. Everything played out perfect. And so, look, the NFL hasn't been caught off guard by any of this. There's a lot of smart people that have dealt with this and put the protocols in place. So it's been good for them.
Tim, what a difference a week makes. I mean, a week ago at this time, it was a foregone conclusion to many of the experts that the Lions were going to go out to the desert and lose to the Cardinals. And, of course, they're going to come back home and lose to Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints. And, here you are in a different position, feeling good about yourself coming into this game. And all of a sudden, 2-2 at the break is a real possibility.
Yeah, it is. And you got to credit this team for going out into the desert and, confusing Kyler Murray a little bit. I thought they played really well defensively. Look, they took care of the ball on offense. They did exactly what they wanted to do in that fourth quarter. I think that's a microcosm of what this team wants to be, right? You get a couple key plays on special teams. You pin them deep. Well, then, look, your defense comes in, steps in, gets a 3 and out, gets another stop at midfield. And then your offense takes over in 4 minutes, and you run that 4-minute offense. You run the ball. You throw the ball. You have some explosive plays. You're smart. You stay in bounds. You run it out. You trot out Matt Prater, and boom, you kick the field goal. I think the fourth quarter is how they want to play football, and we'll see if they can, push that into this week against a New Orleans team that you mentioned is pretty banged up.
And they have, on occasion, allowed some points. As a matter of fact, Timmy, to the tune of about 31 a game. Number 9 is looking for his 3rd in a row against the Saints with 300-plus passing yards, and his 5th in a row against New Orleans with 2+ TD passes. This one has all the signs of being a high-scoring affair. The scoreboard operator may be working overtime, Tim.
Yeah, you might. And, you look at the New Orleans defense missing their top 2 cornerbacks, Marshawn Lattimore and Janoris Jenkins. So you're going to have some backup players there. And look, Lions are going to have all their weapons on offense. All their skill position players are active, ready to go. You saw what the difference Kenny Galladay made last week. And so I'm with you. No, I think it's still Drew Brees. And I know he doesn't have Michael Thomas, but they still score points without Michael Thomas. And I think the matchup with Alvin Kamara and what the Lions do defensively, specifically in the passing game with Kamara. He's caught 9 passes 2 weeks ago, caught 13 passes for, I think, 130 some yards and 2 touchdowns last week. Both losses, but he's been a key part of their passing game. And no Michael Thomas, and you miss him. You missed the 149 catches and the 1,700 plus yards, the reigning offensive player of the week. You can't, supplant that. But they've still got some dangerous guys. Emmanuel Sanders that has been doing it at a high level for a long time. So I'm with you. I think there's going to be some points scored. I think turnovers are just going to be the key to this one. Can the Lions generate some? We saw they did last week. We saw what that meant for them. Can they do it again against Drew Brees and company this week?
Tim, conversely, the Lions certainly want to stop settling for 3, want to start converting more often in the red zone. This is a good week. You got Galladay, you got Hockenson. Those are 2 guys that maybe we should look at in the red zone.
You got to fix it. I mean, they're 6 for 13. That's 27th in the NFL. You just look at how many points that is. That's 21 points for the 4 points you're missing in those 7 possessions. And, when games are decided by 1-2 plays, that's a lot of points. And so they've got to figure it out. We talked to Darrell Bevel, last week. He said it was a combination of execution and play calling. And then we talked to Matthew Stafford, and he said, it's more the execution part for the players. But I think Friday was a big day for the Lions at practice. That's when they go through their red zone packages. I think they had to have a good plan this week, and I agree with you. I think it starts with Kenny Galladay. We saw them have a touchdown in the red zone to him. They threw it up to him against a smaller safety. I think those are the kind of plays. Hockenson as well as a mismatch down there. Saints coach Sean Payton talked about him a little bit this week too, and saying, how difficult those big athletic tight ends are in today's NFL games. And he categorized Hockenson in that same manner. So I'm with you. They've got to look to those 2 guys, especially in the red zone, but they've got to be way better in the red zone. 2 of 5 last week. You just can't keep not taking advantage of scoring points down there when you get there.
All right, Timmy, last question, and it's going to be matter of fact. Lions get themselves a W at the end of the day?
I think so, guys. I think everything's set up nicely for them. They're at home. They're playing well. I think they take what they did in the fourth quarter and they bring it to the Ford Field this week, and they come out with a close win at the end, high scoring, but then they're looking pretty good at 2-2 heading into their bye, getting everybody really back healthy and ready to roll into the second quarter of their season.
Timmy, as always, thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the game, and we'll see you hopefully soon.
All right, guys, anytime.
All right, Tim Twentyman, our friend from DetroitLions.com. A lot of other tilts going on in the National Football League on this game day Sunday. Steve Courtney, Sean Baligian. We'll run them down with you coming up. This is the Detroit Lions Radio Network.
Hey, Lions fans. Want to be at Ford Field for every home game this season? You still can. Show your Lions pride with a custom fan cutout. All proceeds benefiting Detroit Lions charities. For more information or to purchase, visit DetroitLions.com/cutouts. Go Lions!
Coach Matt Patricia talks to Paul W. Smith Tuesday morning at 7:05 on Lions Radio 760 WJR.
Make sure you visit DetroitLions.com for the latest Lions news, analysis, access, and more. Lions insider Tim Twentyman, along with Lions columnist Mike O'Hara, break down every aspect of today's game and the Lions' next opponent. That's only at the official online home of your Lions, DetroitLions.com.
Want to join in on the Lions game action from the comfort of your own home? Now's your chance with Lions Bingo, presented by BetMGM. Available on the Detroit Lions app. Join in on the predictive game and be eligible to win cash prizes and future all-expenses-paid trips. For more games and Lions content, download the Lions mobile app today. Available on both iOS and Android. Go Lions!
Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR. Before he talks to anyone else, Matt Patricia talks to Lomas Brown after the game on 760 WJR. Before he talks to anyone else, Matt Patricia talks to Lomas Brown after the game on 760 WJR. Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR.
Hey, Lions fans. Want to be at Ford Field for every home game this season? You still can. Show your Lions pride with a custom fan cutout. All proceeds benefiting Detroit Lions charities. For more information or to purchase, visit DetroitLions.com/cutouts. Go Lions!
Make sure you visit DetroitLions.com for the latest Lions news, analysis, access, and more. Lions insider Tim Twentyman, along with Lions columnist Mike O'Hara, break down every aspect of today's game and the Lions' next opponent. That's only at the official online home of your Lions, DetroitLions.com.
Want to join in on the Lions game action from the comfort of your own home? Now's your chance with Lions Bingo, presented by BetMGM. Available on the Detroit Lions app. Join in on the predictive game and be eligible to win cash prizes and future all-expenses-paid trips. For more games and Lions content, download the Lions mobile app today. Available on both iOS and Android. Go Lions!
Before he talks to anyone else, Matt Patricia talks to Lomas Brown after the game on 760 WJR.
At Hungry Howie's, get any two items from the mix and match menu for just $5.99 each. That's Hungry Howie's. Steve Courtney, Sean Baligian here with you in Lions Radio Central, getting set for those Saints coming up in the moments ahead. Other games going on, and I got to be honest with you, there's some that are marginal at best, like this one, for example. The Jaguars in Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. What's that do for you?
Goodness gracious me. Yeah, thanks.
You know, even if they open the front door.
Is anybody going in?
I don't know.
Good question.
This one, not bad. You know, everybody, once again, not everybody. I can't speak for everybody. A lot of folks under the impression that the Browns are good.
I don't get it, Steve. You know, can we take a closer look? They beat two bad teams. I mean, really, they beat the Washington football team and they beat the Cincinnati Bengals. They were absolutely drubbed in week one. Now, listen, I know the Cowboys aren't all that, but I have a feeling the Cowboys are going to improve to 2-2 today.
Well, yeah, they've got them at home too, by the way. Speaking of that Washington football team, they are 1-2 right now. They draw the Ravens today. Ravens will be in a very, very unkind mood.
Yeah, they were really exposed the other night, weren't they? That just wasn't pretty. I think the Washington football team's going to pay. There's going to be some atonement that day.
Lots of that. How about this? And this is very interesting. The Vikings, you know, they're 0-3.
Yeah.
How about the Texans?
Yeah.
They're 0-3.
Something's got to give, right?
They're meeting in Houston today. If the Vikings go to 0-4, the Avalanche is underway.
Oh, it's got to be. And, you know, conversely, if the Texans lose that, you really wonder how much more time Bill O'Brien has. I mean, he's already been chastised mightily for a slew of things. none the least, of course, that deal that sent DeAndre Hopkins to the desert. But with all that talent and with Deshaun Watson, there's no excuse for them to fall to 0-4.
Interesting matchup, 425 as we begin that slate. The Colts at 2-1. They're in Chi-Town to face the shocking 3-0 Bears.
How are they 3-0? I just don't get it. Quarterback upheaval. They certainly haven't looked great by any of the stretch of the imagination, but in the National Football League, you find a way to win. So, that's where you sit right now. And Soldier Field, a lot of eyes are going to be on Soldier Field.
The late game tonight, the 8:20. Eagles at 0-2-1. They're in the city by the bay, San Francisco, to face the 2-1 49ers. Anything?
Eagles are a mess. What happened? I mean, they look.
Carson Wentz. Oh,
yeah. They just look. I mean, across the board. And Coach Peterson is another guy that might be on the hot seat. They're a mess. Hey, I'll tell you what. Good luck going all the way out to Frisco for that one.
And as we've been passing along from the National Football League, the Patriots-Chiefs tilt scheduled for 4:25 this afternoon due to COVID-19 has been rescheduled. That will go off at 7:05 tomorrow night. And you've got a double header because you've also got the Falcons at Lambeau to face the Packers. The Falcons have got to be beside themselves. It has been just a horribly frustrating season for them.
Yeah, again, it shows you how quickly fortunes can change in the National Football League. They go to a Super Bowl. Their coach is one of those new geniuses, and they've just been a mess since then.
All right, we've got plenty more to discuss with you as it relates to your Detroit Lions. They are looking to get to 2-2 going into the bye week. What's standing in the way? That would be the New Orleans Saints. More information to share with you as we move forward. This is Lions Radio.
Before he talks to anyone else, Matt Patricia talks to Lomas Brown after the game on 760 WJR. Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR.
Hey, Lions fans. Want to be at Ford Field for every home game this season? You still can. Show your Lions pride with a custom fan cutout. All proceeds benefiting Detroit Lions charities. For more information or to purchase, visit DetroitLions.com/cutouts. Go Lions!
Want to join in on the Lions game action from the comfort of your own home? Now's your chance with Lions Bingo, presented by BetMGM. Available on the Detroit Lions app. Join in on the predictive game and be eligible to win cash prizes and future all-expenses-paid trips. For more games and Lions content, download the Lions mobile app today. Available on both iOS and Android. Go Lions!
Make sure you visit DetroitLions.com for the latest Lions news, analysis, access, and more. Lions insider Tim Twentyman, along with Lions columnist Mike O'Hara, break down every aspect of today's game and the Lions' next opponent. That's only at the official online home of your Lions, DetroitLions.com.
Coach Matt Patricia talks to Paul W. Smith Tuesday morning at 7:05 on Lions Radio 760 WJR.
Make sure you visit DetroitLions.com for the latest Lions news, analysis, access, and more. Lions insider Tim Twentyman, along with Lions columnist Mike O'Hara, break down every aspect of today's game and the Lions' next opponent. That's only at the official online home of your Lions, DetroitLions.com.
We're here for it all, and always will be. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. Confidence comes with every card. To learn more, visit hereforitall.com.
Lions Radio 760 WJR.
Today's players to watch are brought to you by Guernsey Farms Dairy, celebrating 80 years of award-winning dairy products. All right, so the Lions did what they had to do 1 week ago, getting in the win column with the 26-23 win over the Cardinals. Head coach Matt Patricia saying throughout this week he wants nothing to do with the roller coaster. In other words, take care of business. Don't be up, don't be down. Take advantage of the opportunity and read between the lines, get to 2-2 going into the bye. That would be huge for this team.
Oh, it's amazing and something that none of us saw coming. I mean, let's be brutally honest. And they've got that opportunity today. A New Orleans team that's already feeling down, that is beat up. Just take care of business in the red zone. And I think the Lions are going to do that today.
All right. Well, as far as my player to watch, and this could be a first in the long history of this segment, Jack Fox.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. I'm going with the punter. Lions on special teams have been lights out.
Yes.
You could easily say it has been the bright spot so far of this 2020 season. Jack Fox, undrafted free agent last year, is the franchise's first punter to earn NFC Special Teams Player of the Month honors, maybe because he's leading the league in every punting category. And the dude is something else. He can boom it. He can finesse it. He has pinned opponents inside the 27 times. Quite a weapon. Matt Prater, meanwhile, was the conference's special teams player of the week after he was 4 for 4 on field goals, and we appreciated that. And how about Jamal Agnew, averaging a league-high 17.5 yards on punt returns? Special teams have been awesome. Jack Fox is a lot of fun to watch.
No doubt about that. I'm going to go with TJ Hawkinson because they already have their issues in the defensive backfield. The Lions want to take advantage of any opportunity that's afforded to them. I think they're going to give a close eye to Kenny Golladay in the red zone and maybe not pay as much attention to TJ Hawkinson. I think TJ Hawkinson gets in the end zone at least once, maybe a couple times, because Steve, this seems like the common refrain since you and I have been doing this the past 5 years. You got to stop settling for 3. Find a way to punch it in the end zone. And I think that young tight end is going to do that today.
Well, when you consider the Saints, again, without their 2 starting corners, Marshawn Lattimore, Janoris Jenkins, that spells opportunity for me.
Absolutely.
For the Lions offensively. It has to.
Take advantage of whatever comes your way, because Lord knows we've watched other teams take advantage of the Lions in years gone by, and certainly that defensive backfield in week 1 in particular. So make sure that when you get down there, finish. Don't settle, finish. It's wonderful to have a weapon like Matt Prater, but the less I see him, the happier I'm going to be.
And something don't want it to fly under the radar for the Lions defensively, and this is important. Christian Jones, Big Cheese, he is active. He was listed as questionable, but it's going to be all hands on deck for the Lions defensively in their pursuit to shut down Alvin Kamara, which is by no means a small chore. Steve and Sean here with you. We will take you to Ford Field, bring on the 2 guys that will call this tilt. You know them, Dan Miller, Lomas Brown. That and more coming up. This is the Detroit Lions Radio Network.
Before he talks to anyone else, Matt Patricia talks to Lomas Brown after the game on 760 WJR. Coach Matt Patricia talks to Paul W. Smith Tuesday morning at 7:05 on Lions Radio 760 WJR.
Make sure you visit DetroitLions.com for the latest Lions news, analysis, access, and more. Lions insider Tim Twentyman, along with Lions columnist Mike O'Hara, break down every aspect of today's game and the Lions' next opponent. That's only at the official online home of your Lions, DetroitLions.com.
Hey, Lions fans. Want to be at Ford Field for every home game this season? You still can. Show your Lions pride with a custom fan cutout. All proceeds benefiting Detroit Lions charities. For more information or to purchase, visit DetroitLions.com/cutouts. Go Lions!
Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR.
Want to join in on the Lions game action from the comfort of your own home? Now's your chance with Lions Bingo, presented by BetMGM. Available on the Detroit Lions app. Join in on the predicted game and be eligible to win cash prizes and future all-expenses-paid trips. For more games and Lions content, Download the Lions mobile app today. Available on both iOS and Android. Go Lions!
Hey, Lions fans. Want to be at Ford Field for every home game this season? You still can. Show your Lions pride with a custom fan cutout. All proceeds benefiting Detroit Lions charities. For more information or to purchase, visit DetroitLions.com/cutouts. Go Lions!
Make sure you visit DetroitLions.com for the latest Lions news, analysis, access, and more. Lions insider Tim Twentyman, along with Lions columnist Mike O'Hara, break down every aspect of today's game and the Lions' next opponent. That's only at the official online home of your Lions, DetroitLions.com. Make sure you visit DetroitLions.com for the latest Lions news, analysis, access, and more. Lions insider Tim Twentyman, along with Lions columnist Mike O'Hara, break down every aspect of today's game and the Lions' next opponent. That's only at the official online home of your Lions, DetroitLions.com. Make sure you visit DetroitLions.com for the latest Lions news, analysis, access, and more. Lions insider Tim Twentyman, along with Lions columnist Mike O'Hara, break down every aspect of today's game and the Lions' next opponent. That's only at the official online home of your Lions, DetroitLions.com.
Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR.
Well, let's see here. Dan and Lomas' first look is brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. Confidence comes with every card. And we say hello to the fellas at Ford Field for the first time in 3 weeks. I certainly hope they found themselves there all right. Dan Miller, Lomas Brown, how you fellas doing today?
I don't know about you, but we've been here for the last 3 weeks.
Well, that's true. That's true. You kind of forget about what's going on.
It just looked a little different. No, it's good to be back, guys. And I think even if it's not home field advantage with fans, I think players just like to know that they're in their own house. You know, they don't have to get on a plane. And these days, that's a good thing. So Lions are back home. Got to take advantage of it.
We certainly got a dose, fellas, as to what the National Football League, football in general, is like here in 2020. A few hours ago, didn't know if we were going to be able to tee it up. Michael Burton, Saints fullback, former Lion, testing positive, or so it looked. Upon further review, he was negative. We're able to play ball today.
Yeah, and I think that's also an indication of the NFL adapting to the new normal, because this goes back to the Matthew Stafford situation with a false positive. And once that happened, they put different protocols in place to protect themselves from that. They retest. They make sure that if it is positive, is in fact positive, or if it's a false positive. So they immediately put that into place last night when that test came back for the Saints player and tested the others, and it all turns out that it was not an issue, and we're ready to play ball today. But you're right, that's just kind of where we are right now in 2020 in the NFL.
Guys, the temperature of the room, it's amazing what can happen in a week. A week ago, we're talking to you, and surely the Lions are going to lose out in the desert, and then they're going to lose to New Orleans. And now, a week later, you're in a much better position. You find a way to win that game last week. You feel good about taking care of business. 2-2 heading into the bye week after the start. Who'd have thunk it?
I know. You're right. And, you know, that's how the league changed. That's how fluid the NFL is. Teams could look terrible one week and come out and get a win and just look like a totally different team. And you hope that's the case with the Lions. You hope that victory from Arizona, you hope that it permeates and these guys could really bring that energy, bring that confidence to the field today against a very good shorthanded Saints team, but still a very good Saints team.
Shorthanded indeed, Low. And Dan, when you're talking about opportunity for the Lions to get to 2-2 going into the bye, it would have to be now. Of course, the Saints without Lattimore, Jenkins, their two starting corners. We know Michael Thomas, all-pro wide receiver, not going to be able to go. I'm thinking this game is going to be a high-scoring affair. Hopefully the Lions just find a way to neutralize Mr. Kamara to the best of their abilities.
Yeah, that's going to be the big key because you're right. They are missing Michael Thomas. They are missing Andres Pete, their terrific guard. They are missing Jared Cook, their terrific tight end. So you got to take advantage of that. Look, injuries are part of the story in the NFL. They're down right now. It's an opportunity for the Lions to come in and get a victory against a team that is not at full strength. Nobody feels sorry for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the healthiest we've seen the Lions so far this year. Let's see if they can go out there and get this thing done and find a way to get back to 2-2. Because back to Sean's point, sitting at 2-2 going into the bye certainly is a whole different feel from where we thought they would be, going back to the pregame last Sunday. And the difference between 2-2, fellas, and 1-3 is massive.
Enormous.
One of these teams is walking out of here 500. One of them's walking out with a huge hole to dig out of.
Mm-hmm. All right, Danny Lowe, appreciate it. Looking forward to the call as always.
Thanks, boys.
All right, Dan Miller, Lomas Brown, spending some time here with us on the countdown. And our time together is just about done for this portion. I do have a good feeling. I really do.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I think there are going to be a lot of points, though. These are two teams that have to prove to you that they can stop the opposition. Last week, be great if that wasn't an aberration, and this is the sign of the new Lions.
Well, and we're going to take a look and see exactly what Drew Brees has left. I mean, there's been so much made. And I say, don't underestimate that crafty, wily veteran. Right now, here's what we're going to do. We are going to pause 10 seconds for our network stations to identify themselves. As you well know, this is the Detroit Lions Radio Network.
From the Golden Tower of the Fisher Building, the great voice of the Great Lakes, WJR Detroit, where Detroit comes to talk. Now back to the broadcast booth. Here are the voices of the Lions, Dan Miller and Lomas Brown.
Week 4 in the National Football League, and the Lions are back home, set to take on the New Orleans Saints. In a sign that we are still very much in 2020. 12 hours ago, we didn't know if this game was going to happen as news broke that Michael Burton, Saints fullback, had tested positive for the coronavirus. So with 2 games already being postponed, that threw this one into very uncertain waters. So what happened then? Protocols go into place. They retest Burton. They retest everybody that's been around Burton for contact tracing. All of that comes back negative, so it clears the former Lion, who's now a Saints fullback. It clears everybody that had come in contact with him, and it clears us to play football today. So, Lomas, as of midnight, we were all checking Twitter, didn't know if there was going to be a game today. We'd have to wait a couple days, but here we go. And for these two teams, one coming in at 1-2,
yes,
the other coming in at 1-2, this is a huge game to get your season back on track at the quarter mark of the year.
You're absolutely right. One team with great expectations, the New Orleans Saints, Super Bowl aspirations. And we have the Lions team that's, like you said, dug themselves in a hole, but trying to dig themselves out of the hole, is trying to scrap and do whatever they can to keep this season going the right way it needs to go. And they got a tall task today. Even though New Orleans Saints are a beat-up team, they come in with without 6 of their really, really good players, they're still a formidable team, and the players that they do have on the field can get the job done.
Yeah, they're still NFL players. You got to find a way to go out there and get it done, and we've seen games where we thought the Lions were in good shape before, and it doesn't quite work out that way. You got to do the work. That's the bottom line. You did some good things against Arizona. You've got to carry that forward to this week.
You are absolutely right. You must carry the things this week, because that's the only way you're going to keep that confidence going, and that's, quite frankly, that's the only way this team needs to play. They have to kind of duplicate what they did against Arizona, against this New Orleans team today.
All right, let's bring in Mike O'Hara, who joins us, does great work for DetroitLions.com, has been a Lions beat writer for many, many years covering this team. Lions Radio Roundtable brought to you by Ford, built Ford proud. Michael, good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon, Dan. Good afternoon, Lomas. Hello, Lomas.
How are you, Michael?
You know, for all the things that we have covered in the game of football, you for a long time, me for a long time, Lomas in a long time. COVID tests are new, but they are a part of life now, and this is a fact of life. We have 2 games this weekend that have been postponed. We thought this might be a third one. I guess the question becomes, as the NFL starts to take a look at this and wonder if they need to tighten restrictions even more, you're starting to hear murmurs that there might be NFL bubbles popping up here soon.
Yeah, I heard something this morning. One of the reports says that there's maybe a conference call among some coaches thinking about pausing the season for 2 or 3 weeks and bring everybody back in a bubble. And we'll find out. But the other part of it is, sure, the players are accountable too. And you see on one of the videos earlier this week of 6 or 8 or 10 members of the LA Raiders out on a charity thing, all of them, none of them wearing masks. Guys, pay attention to what's going on. I have to wear one on a video after I leave this here for DetroitLions.com. Do I like it? No, it's the rule. It's what I do.
Well, if we've learned anything in the past week, it is that we should be wearing masks. Right. We've learned it on a national level. We've learned it on a local level. And NFL players have learned that. And it's also when you leave the facility, look, there's no way you can be 100% certain, but it's also making sure that you don't put yourself in a situation that can be dangerous in terms of contracting COVID. That's nightclubs, that's going out, that's hanging with friends in a lot of cases, things like that. It is taking you out of your normal life that you would have. But you know what? These are not normal times. And if you want to play football, and if you want to do anything, if you want to broadcast, that's just the way it is right now. That's where we are as a society.
Well, this is going to pass eventually, and I want to be around eventually. It's pretty simple.
We're hoping that it does, and we're hoping that we'll continue to play this season. And certainly we send our best wishes out to the players that have been affected by this. Cam Newton, the highest profile player to come up with this, and that has affected the New England Patriots. And then I'm not sure what's going on down in Tennessee, but they just keep popping up. And that's the scary thing is you're testing, and all week long it's more positive, more positive, more positive. It's a trickle, but a trickle adds up to a flow.
Yeah, you mentioned it right at the start about how things have changed. And Lomas, you can speak to this as well as anybody. I remember the old days where you were waiting to see if somebody's ankle injury would heal enough for him to play on Sunday. Now you want to know you're going to have 53 players. It's different. I'll tell you one thing, 2 things. I'm glad I'm not on the beat anymore, and I'm just as glad that I was asleep at midnight last night because I didn't hear anything about it until I woke up.
I was up till 2:30 pulling through Twitter and trying to get in touch with anybody that could tell me whether or not this thing was in trouble, but they were waiting for the test results to come back.
Well, you're doing very well for a man your age.
I appreciate that. I hope not to nod off halfway through this one. Mike, look, bottom line is it's amazing how you can take a trip in this league from feeling like everything is dark and you're in serious trouble to getting to the point where all of a sudden you feel like there's life, okay? They beat Arizona. You're 1-2. You win this game today. You're hitting the bye at 2-2, which feels pretty good.
And with Jacksonville coming up after that, now nothing's automatic because they won their opener, but you really are in good shape. And I think there's a reason for that beyond just the one-loss record. I think the Detroit Lions last week played good football at the end of the first half, scored a touchdown, Kenny Galladay, and they played really good football in the fourth quarter. They did 3 things that really won the game for them. All 3 units. Special teams got punts and coverage, send the defense out on the field. They got stops twice, bing, bing, give the ball back to the Detroit Lions, and they drive twice, once to the tying field goal, once to the winning field goal, and really dominated the fourth quarter. You know what? Move that up 1,720 miles northeast here to Detroit, and let's go at it again here today the same way. Just pick it up where you left off.
So you feel that's the recipe for these guys to come out, like I said, depleted Saints team. Still, Drew Brees is still Drew Brees. You got Sean Payton on the sideline calling the plays. I mean, do you think that's the recipe? Just duplicate what we did against Arizona?
Well, play well, and by playing well, you react to what's in front of you. When you mentioned Sean Payton, I think one of the keys to the game is to scout the coach, not just the scheme, because he's liable to do anything, including an onside kick in the Super Bowl to start the second half, including this Taysom Hill kid. You never know. He had 6 touchdown receptions, all of them last season. He doesn't get an awful lot of time, but when he's on the field, he makes quality plays. So be ready for anything with them, and then play your game. Just play football.
Lions get Marcus Trufant back today. That's big for them. And when you look at where they are, that adds a little bit of depth to those corners. Now Okuda's gotten some run. Oruwarie's gotten more run. Now it's going to be interesting to see how they kind of deploy those guys against this Saints team.
Well, for Okuda, for all the talk about where he ranks in Pro Football Focus, and by the way, I'm a subscriber and I pay my way, so
I said Desmond Trufant.
Desmond Trufant. I'm with you. But it's still, the kid had an interception and 2 tackles for loss.
Right.
You don't see cornerbacks do that all the time. He right there got his schnoz right in the action. Okay.
Well, he's going to need to keep his schnoz in the action because you got a Hall of Fame quarterback back there today who knows that he's got 3 games under his belt.
But he's already made his resume for the Hall of Fame was ended a year and a half ago. This is not the same Drew Brees. This is not the Drew Brees of old. It's the old Drew Brees. And look, I went on. How many times?
I'm not playing that back at 4 o'clock this afternoon.
You're not. Trust me. I'll give you the pick in a minute. But he's not the same player. But the other part of it is he's smart enough to utilize what he has. Mm-hmm. And what more than the statistic of Alvin Kamara, who's got 27 catches out of 31 targets. You think that hasn't boosted Drew's completion rate for 285 yards? 280 of them are yards after the catch.
Yeah.
Wow. But you know what? You're smart enough to get to the guy who can do it.
Don't miss tackles. Don't miss tackles because they can turn into game-changing plays with Alvin Kamara.
Like the 52-yarder touchdown last week.
It's a dump-off pass. They got him tackled for a loss or no gain.
It looked like he was the leader after 5 of the events in the decathlon in the Olympic game. The jump, the hurdle, the run, the sprint, the tumble.
Michael, good stuff, my friend. We'll look for you on DetroitLions.com all week long and after today's game as well.
Have a good victory, guys.
Oh, listen to Mike. There it is. Confident. Take a break. Come right back. Much more coming up as we count you down to kickoff. Getting you ready for the Lions and the Saints here at Ford Field. This is Lions Radio.
Before he talks to anyone else, Matt Patricia talks to Lomas Brown after the game on 760 WJR.
Hey, Lions fans. Want to be at Ford Field for every home game this season? You still can. Show your Lions pride with a custom fan cutout. All proceeds benefiting Detroit Lions charities. For more information or to purchase, visit DetroitLions.com/cutouts. Go Lions!
Want to join in on the Lions game action from the comfort of your own home? Now's your chance with Lions Bingo, presented by BetMGM. Available on the Detroit Lions app. Join in on the predicted game and be eligible to win cash prizes and future all-expenses-paid trips. For more games and Lions content, download the Lions mobile app today. Available on both iOS and Android. Go Lions!
Coach Matt Patricia talks to Paul W. Smith Tuesday morning at 7:05 on Lions Radio 760 WJR.
Make sure you visit DetroitLions.com for the latest Lions news, analysis, access, and more. Lions insider Tim Twentyman, along with Lions columnist Mike O'Hara, break down every aspect of today's game and the Lions' next opponent. That's only at the official online home of your Lions, DetroitLions.com.
Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR.
Make sure you visit DetroitLions.com for the latest Lions news, analysis, access, and more. Lions insider Tim Twentyman, along with Lions columnist Mike O'Hara, break down every aspect of today's game and the Lions' next opponent. That's only at the official online home of your Lions, DetroitLions.com.
Excuse us, we're doing a thing. Rude. Now at Hungry Howie's, get any 2 mix and match items for only $5.99 each.
Hungry
Howie's!
News Talk 760 WJR.
Yes, indeed, the countdown does continue. The Lions feeling good coming off that win in the desert 1 week ago. The challenge is certainly there as they prepare for Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints. Steve Courtney here with you, and it's time now for the Player Spotlight. As always, brought to you by Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. It's a new day, and it's always a great day when you can spend some quality time with the big cheese. Lions linebacker Christian Jones joins us. How are you, Christian?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Everything is well. Appreciate your time, sir. First things first, describe, if you can, Christian, the flight back from Arizona, ending the 11-game losing streak.
It was a good feeling to finally, get that win in, especially against a hot team, good team, and us coming together and finally getting the job done. But this is a long season. We got to keep it going.
It was very interesting because I know the topic going into that Cardinal tilt, Christian, was you certainly had to contain Kyler Murray. just 29 yards on the ground, not to mention defensively forcing 3 key interceptions. That was huge.
Yeah, it was. One of the game plans we had was trying to, contain him. He's a real good player, and we wanted him. We all know what he can do with his feet, and we just wanted to make sure we limit his touches when he runs the ball, and kind of make him sit in there and throw the ball. And we executed the game plan well. Everybody did their job, and we was able to come out with the win.
Matt Patricia, throughout this 2020 season, Christian, has been kind of lauding the point that, this team has got to stay in the moment. There was a few times during the course of that victory, both offensively, defensively, and, of course, let's not forget special teams, that the Lions did just that.
Yeah, for sure. We got to realize, when you're in the NFL, the other teams are going to make plays. Everybody has good players. Despite records are everybody has a good group of guys on the field. So you got to understand that guys are going to make plays, and when they do, you just got to move on and go on to the next. And we did a good job with that last Sunday. Have you noticed a difference in this team getting that victory, Christian, in the locker room? Is there a little bit more to the step now? I think so. We've got that. We got that first win in, and everybody knows the feeling of getting that win, and all the work that went in to get that. So, it's contagious. So we just kind of want to just keep it going. You keep building on that. We know we didn't do everything perfect in that game. So kind of just take the good that we did and keep doing that, and take the bad and get better at that. Before we talk about the Saints for just a second there, Christian, want to get your thoughts. You've played 3 ball games without fans. Is it something that you've become used to? Do you still miss the fans? I mean, it's got to be different in this emotional game of football without spectators. If you ask different guys, they'll probably give you different answers. But, I feel like for me, obviously it's great having the fans there. That energy is amazing. But at the same time, we practice all week, with just us and music. And sometimes we have fan noise out there. So, I'll say we're kind of, in a way, we're used to it, but obviously getting to the stadium and getting there can be a little different. But I think everybody kind of adjusted to that, we kind of try to be our own cheerleaders out there, keep everyone going. And I think that was great about last week. I thought the sideline was great, despite not having fans there. The energy was awesome. Offense was supporting us. Defense was supporting the offense, and offense and defense both were supporting special teams. So it was a great feeling on the sideline, and we just gotta keep that up, because we don't have the energy of the fans, so we gotta get each other going. Well, for the first time in 3 weeks, Cheese, you're able to get back to the friendly confines of Ford Field. Drew Brees, the New Orleans Saints come a-calling, couple of 1 and 2 teams getting together. Drew Brees, a lot has been made about his arm strength. He's still throwing at 70%, and certainly Alvin Kamara, one of the top shelf running backs in the league. He has 3 TDs on the ground, 3 TDs in the air. Obviously, Christian, as a linebacker, he's got to be accounted for. Oh yeah, 100%. Despite what they're saying about even Drew Brees, we don't take that to our heads. We know what he can do. We know his record. He's still one of the top quarterbacks in this league, smart player. He handles everything from checks to getting the receivers going, the O-line going. He's a really good player, and the same goes with Kamara, a guy who can do it all, catch the ball in the backfield. They even put him out wide and empties and let him run a few routes. He's a really smooth runner. Balance, can run through arm tackle. So, we got our hands full. Despite what their record says, this is still a really good team, and we're preparing that way. And hopefully we can do everything right this week and get down and get another win. All right, Christian, just to follow up on what was a developing story as we close our conversation, last May, you and your lovely then fiance Liz were supposed to get married July 11th in Napa. Obviously, you had to make some adjustments because of stupid COVID. I saw some pictures, beautiful pictures. It looks like you were able to tie the knot, young man. Oh, yeah, we're still able to get it done. Kind of had to improvise a little bit, but everything kind of fell in place, which was which was awesome. So, that means it's meant to be. So
it's meant to be.
So, yeah. So it was a nice little ceremony. My family and her family there. So, we was able to get it done.
All right. I just wanted to make sure it was official. I'm going to have to send you a glass set or something.
I appreciate that. I know she will. My wife will too.
All right, Christian, we appreciate your time as always. Hey, let's keep it going moving forward. Very exciting. Love to watch you play.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Christian Jones spending some time with us right here on the Player Spotlight as we continue to count you down. Yeah, back at Ford Field, it's the Lions and Saints. Right now, we'll take a break. This is the Detroit Lions Radio Network.
Make sure you visit DetroitLions.com for the latest Lions news, analysis, access, and more. Lions insider Tim Twentyman, along with Lions columnist Mike O'Hara, break down every aspect of today's game and the Lions' next opponent. That's only at the official online home of your Lions, DetroitLions.com.
Want to join in on the Lions game action from the comfort of your own home? Now's your chance with Lions Bingo, presented by BetMGM. Available on the Detroit Lions app. Join in on the predictive game and be eligible to win cash prizes and future all-expenses-paid trips. For more games and Lions content, download the Lions mobile app today. Available on both iOS and Android. Go Lions!
Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR. Before he talks to anyone else, Matt Patricia talks to Lomas Brown after the game on 760 WJR. Coach Matt Patricia talks to Paul W. Smith Tuesday morning at 7:05 on Lions Radio 760 WJR.
Hey, Lions fans. Want to be at Ford Field for every home game this season? You still can. Show your Lions pride with a custom fan cutout. All proceeds benefiting Detroit Lions charities. For more information or to purchase, visit DetroitLions.com/cutouts. Go Lions!
Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR. Before he talks to anyone else, Matt Patricia talks to Lomas Brown after the game on 760 WJR. Before he talks to anyone else, Matt Patricia talks to Lomas Brown after the game on 760 WJR. Coach Matt Patricia talks to Paul W. Smith Tuesday morning at 7:05 on Lions Radio 760 WJR. Before he talks to anyone else, Matt Patricia talks to Lomas Brown after the game on 760 WJR. Coach Matt Patricia talks to Paul W. Smith Tuesday morning at 7:05 on Lions Radio 760 WJR. Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR.
Want to join in on the Lions game action from the comfort of your own home? Now's your chance with Lions Bingo, presented by BetMGM. Available on the Detroit Lions app. Join in on the predictive game and be eligible to win cash prizes and future all-expenses-paid trips. For more games and Lions content, download the Lions mobile app today. Available on both iOS and Android. Go Lions!
Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR. Coach Matt Patricia talks to Paul W. Smith Tuesday morning at 7:05 on Lions Radio 760 WJR.
Welcome back. This is Lomas Brown. Big V, I'm calling you Big V, but can you please say your name can you pronounce your name for the people and for me too?
Yeah, it's Halapulavati.
Halapulavati. Okay, I like that. Yeah. Hey, that's just got a nice little ring to it. I like how that sounds and stuff.
Appreciate it.
So look, I just wanted to start off by saying this to you, man. I watched you in Philly. And I wanted to say that two of the tackles, Jason Peters and Lane Johnson, man, I think you learned from two of the best, because especially Jason with them sweet feet that he have. So I just kind of wanted to know, man, what did you take away from them guys? What do you take away from them guys that you're using here in Detroit while you're here?
What I learned from them from the past 4 years, man, is just never stop working. Just keep grinding no matter where you're at.
Yeah.
Guard, center, tackle, tight end, whatever. Keep grinding and trying to, work your way up, because that's the only way to get better, is just by improving it each week and by learning from those guys. They help me as a person, to settle in. It's because I played pretty early when I was younger. I started playing earlier, and JP took me under his wing, and he was like, "Hey, just calm down. Just calm down. Just treat it like practice.
Right.
Just treat it like practice. Just remember, just get to your spot and settle in. I mean, just get to your spot and stop. Don't do anything more and don't do anything less. Just get to your spot and get ready. Take on the bull rush or speed rush. But the only thing is just stay low.
Yeah.
And not only that, just keep grinding. And that's what I learned from those two guys. And, JP is a great guy, man. Great guy to learn from.
Yeah, I seen them when they played the Lions, man. And I was kind of like a fanboy. I wanted to go up and say something to him. You know what I'm saying?
That game.
Yeah, man, because I'm telling Big V, man, his feet, man, for a man to be that size, he got some good feet. And, I envy. I watch linemen feet. So that's the first thing I do. So that's how I say, man, I think him and Lane Johnson, I think you learn from two of the best guys. You can have two of the better guys to learn from.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, JP was the undrafted free agent, tight end, got converted to tackle. Like I said, it doesn't matter where you're at, just don't stop grinding.
So, V, let me ask you this. I know in training camp you were at tackle pretty much the whole time. And, man, I was shocked to see when you came in that you were at guard during the game. Like, I know, man, I was telling Nick Roddy, my producer extraordinaire here, bro, they tried me at offensive guard, and I lasted 3 days there because everything happened so fast there. They had to put me back at tackle. How can you handle that, man? How were you able to handle that big difference, and especially in an NFL game?
Yeah, I mean, I knew what to expect. I just got to switch brains for a second, when they say, hey, go play some guards, I'm like, all right, cool. I didn't complain about it. I'll do my best, to help the team win. And then, I had good guys. I had Tyrell, he had my back. Frank has my back. The whole line, the whole offense. Basically, the whole team has my back. And that was really cool because I had their back, too. We're going to ride together. And, when they put me at guard, hey, let's do it.
How has it been in the O-line room? You just mentioned all the Jonah and Frank and Taylor. How has it been getting to know those guys and playing with those guys and getting the chemistry with those guys?
Yeah, man, I love this guy, man. It makes work fun, coming in every day and just to hear Taylor's voice and O'Day, Abushi, Jonah, all the guys, they just make work fun.
You're right about that, especially doing those dog days. You are right about that and stuff.
Yeah. And then there's the reason why we're still grinding, because we got each other.
Yeah. So Big V, now we got something in common too. Now I got a chance to block for a future Hall of Famer in Barry Sanders, and now you're blocking for a future Hall of Famer in Adrian Peterson. Man, how was that?
Yeah.
How was that experience?
Man, it's a crazy experience. I mean, right before the first drive, Adrian Peterson comes in the sunline. He headbutts us. I was like, "Dang, that's really cool." I thought I was going to go for a handshake, but he headbutted us, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm not going to forget that moment."
That's awesome, man.
It's pretty cool. I used to watch him when he was at Oklahoma, and when he was at Minnesota and Washington. Yeah, it was pretty cool. And when I first heard that he was going to come here, I was like, "Dang, get to block for this guy."
He runs hard too, man. That's
the thing about Adrian, man. Yes. He just never stops running.
And how has Matthew Stafford impressed you? I know you've been with some good quarterbacks, but tell me, how is Matthew Stafford, or how is he different from some of the quarterbacks you've had in the past?
Honestly, to me, like in Philly, the quarterbacks, they become the leader, and so I'll follow them. And then when I came here, Matt was like, "Hey, let's do this," and I was like, "Yeah, I'll ride with you." And so Matt, he's a great guy. He's been around for a long time, so he kind of knows the game pretty good, and so it's pretty good.
V, let me ask you this, man. Why did you decide to sign with the Lions?
Because I felt comfortable about this type of offense that Bev likes to run.
Okay.
And so it was really easy. Not easy, but it was more comfortable me coming in. I feel like I can play this type of style.
Gotcha.
Offense, the West Coast type, just like Philly. I mean, we had the same calls and everything, so I thought I fit in right. and I get to block for Matt Stafford.
That's right. I like that. Yeah. I like that. So, Big V, you guys got a big test coming up Sunday. You know, the Saints front seven. I've been watching them on film. I watched the Monday night game, and you know, I watched their first game. They seem to be pretty aggressive up front, led by Cameron Jordan. And what can you tell me about that defensive front and what you got to have to do to have success against them?
We just got to understand the game plan and what we're trying to accomplish. But you know, just like every other week, you know, we all have challenges every week. You know, it doesn't matter who or what position they're playing. And, you know, we already, I mean, like last week, I thought our tackles, you know, I thought they did pretty good against Chandler Jones. Mm-hmm. You know, we all know that he can be destructive in the pass game. Yes. Just like, you know, the Smith brothers in Green Bay. Mm-hmm. You know, we just got to get our minds right for Cam Jordan because, you know, he's pretty disruptive. And not only him, but the interior guys too. And so we just got to work as a unit.
So, Big V, so now this is a serious question here. You ready? So, you know, us big fellas, you know, we bringing sexy back. Big fellas bringing it back. So, I checked y'all out in the body issue. So were you guys bringing sexy back? Were you? Because, man, I think I'm sexy now, and I know you think you sexy. Us big fellas, man, right? I mean, I know y'all had to have a lot of confidence, right, to take those pictures that way. Am I right, Big V?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. We got to show the linemen some love too.
Thank you. Yeah, man. They don't think the big fellas could be sexy, man, but we sexy, man. Yeah.
I mean, if Vince Wilfork can do it, why not us?
Thank you. Hey, you know what? You took the words right out of my mouth because I seen that issue right there. So you're right about that. Hey, Big V, man, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Hopefully, man, I'll get a chance to meet you one day, man. But hey, good luck the rest of this season, man. And like I always tell the offensive linemen, keep them feet moving, my good man.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. It's been a pleasure. This is Lions Radio.
Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR.
Want to join in on the Lions game action from the comfort of your own home? Now's your chance with Lions Bingo, presented by BetMGM. Available on the Detroit Lions app. Join in on the predictive game and be eligible to win cash prizes and future all-expenses-paid trips. For more games and Lions content, download the Lions mobile app today. Available on both iOS and Android. Go Lions!
Before he talks to anyone else, Matt Patricia talks to Lomas Brown after the game on 760 WJR. Coach Matt Patricia talks to Paul W. Smith Tuesday morning at 7:05 on Lions Radio 760 WJR.
Hey, Lions fans. Want to be at Ford Field for every home game this season? You still can. Show your Lions pride with a custom fan cutout. All proceeds benefiting Detroit Lions charities. For more information or to purchase, visit DetroitLions.com/cutouts. Go Lions!
Make sure you visit DetroitLions.com for the latest Lions news, analysis, access, and more. Lions insider Tim Twentyman, along with Lions columnist Mike O'Hara, break down every aspect of today's game and the Lions' next opponent. That's only at the official online home of your Lions, DetroitLions.com.
Coach Matt Patricia talks to Paul W. Smith Tuesday morning at 7:05 on Lions Radio 760 WJR. Before he talks to anyone else, Matt Patricia talks to Lomas Brown after the game on 760 WJR. Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760
Your next Lions
WJR.
tailgate party? Ask the critical question. Is it Wiggly's? For more info, go to Wiggly's.com. That's Wiggly's.com.
Lions Radio 760 WJR.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We are joined now by Lions head coach Matt Patricia as they get set to go against the Saints. This one brought to you by DTE Energy. Coach, been interesting this week to hear you talk about your relationship with Sean Payton. It goes back a long way, and there's a lot of respect between the two head coaches in this game today.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I have the utmost respect for him, and really he's been a great friend and really, mentor to help me with my journey too as a coach and all the way through the NFL. He's been someone that I can always, call or text and rely on to, to help me through, anything I'm going with. So he's just been great. It's been great.
How competitive is it? I mean, you guys you're living the same lives, but you're competing for the same thing. When you have those phone calls, are they open phone calls? Can you talk about things that might affect a competitive advantage somewhere down the line?
I definitely think, when you have those relationships with guys that you can trust and kind of have those conversations with, you're open, you're honest, and that those situations come up. And when you're in competition, you're in competition. That is what it is. And we got to go out and we got to compete with the Saints today.
Defensively, saw some better things last week. What are some of the things you saw in that game against Arizona that you want to carry over into this one?
No, I mean, I think on the big scale, obviously the turnovers were great. I think that was obviously, a huge spark for us defensively and getting the ball back to our offense. And anytime you can turn the ball over in a game, it's what you got to do. I think, the Saints do a great job of protecting the ball, though. They're not really going to give it to us and just kind of throw it up. And that'll be a big challenge for us. But I think we just got to kind of build on some of the stuff that we did last week and, keep trying to improve our run defense. We'll have a huge challenge in front of us. I mean, Kamara and Murray, I mean, these guys are great backs. I mean, they do a great job in the run game. And that'll be, big for us today to see where we're at, see if we can do it 2 weeks in a row.
So much has been made about Drew Brees and where he is in his career and what he's got left and all those things. And I know you believe he's got a lot left and you're going to get his absolute best today. But I think the thing that jumps out first and foremost, the ball comes out so quickly when he's back there. How does that affect what you want to do?
I mean, I think, he's done a phenomenal job of getting the ball out, and he's just so smart, so quick, so cerebral with the game. He just goes through his progressions, and he knows right where he's going to go. A lot of times he does stuff pre-snap to help identify the coverage, and so he knows right away, even before the ball snap, where the ball has to go based on the coverage look that he's seen. So I think he's just playing smart. I think that's all it is. I think he's just playing smart and efficient and, trying to do everything he can to get the ball into his playmakers' hands, and I think he does a great job of it.
You mentioned Kamara a moment ago. We saw in the game last week where he can take a little check down pass and turn it into a game-changing play. What's the approach when you have a guy like that? Because missed tackles can really flip a game quickly.
Yeah, I mean, you hit it right on the head there. We got to do a great job of tackling. We got to get everybody the ball. We got to pursue. We got to hustle. This guy's going to make some guys missed. I mean, he's one of the best backs in the league, and he does that to people every single week. You see it on tape. So from our standpoint, we got to minimize that. We got to do a great job of leverage, and we got to get everybody the ball. I mean, that's the biggest thing. We got to tackle well.
Offensively, talking to the guys this week, things have gone okay, but to a man, they all say there's more out there. They feel like they've left some points on the board. That really just comes down to consistency and execution. There's nothing magic about it. It's just finishing drives.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think that's it's a great point of emphasis for us right now is we got to, we got to get that ball in the end zone. When we get down in there, we have those opportunities. We can't miss those opportunities. We need to score touchdowns, and the guys know that. And we got to just execute better than what we're doing right now to make sure we get that done.
I think one of the real positives, though, is that you have had a running game. It's probably not where you want it yet, but it's representative to the point where when Matthew goes play action, those defenses have to respect it.
Yeah, I mean, I think the running game has been really, kind of one of our strong points right now this year, and certainly something that we've started with in camp that we thought we could build on here early in the season. But, we need to keep balance to the offense, and we need to expand on what we're doing right now. So, we really are conscious of trying to make sure that everything is complementary.
Hey, Coach, final thing, when you're playing a team like this, it's going to be a tight game. Special teams are going to be a big key. Your special teams have performed well so far. Deontay Harris is 5'6" tall. He's dangerous back there. This is a guy that can be hard to find, and you got to track him down.
Yeah, the Saints special teams units are phenomenal now. I mean, Darren Rizzi does an unbelievable job with this group, and I think he's got them ready to go. They are one of the best block units in the league, along with, obviously, like you mentioned, dynamic in the return game. So everything they do is at a high level. Their special teams units have really been phenomenal the last couple of years, and that'll be a big challenge for us here today. So certainly what we've done in the past doesn't really matter. We got to do a great job going forward, but that'll be a tough unit that we're going against today. We got to do a great job.
Coach, appreciate the time. Good luck out there.
Okay, thanks so much. Take care.
All right, there he is, Lions head coach Matt Patricia, as they get set to go against the Saints. We're counting you down to kickoff. Stick around. It's on the way. This is the Detroit Lions Radio Network.
Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR.
Want to join in on the Lions game action from the comfort of your own home? Now's your chance with Lions Bingo, presented by BetMGM. Available on the Detroit Lions app. Join in on the predictive game and be eligible to win cash prizes and future all-expenses-paid trips. For more games and Lions content, download the Lions mobile app today. Available on both iOS and Android. Go Lions!
Make sure you visit DetroitLions.com for the latest Lions news, analysis, access, and more. Lions insider Tim Twentyman, along with Lions columnist Mike O'Hara, break down every aspect of today's game and the Lions' next opponent. That's only at the official online home of your Lions, DetroitLions.com.
Coach Matt Patricia talks to Paul W. Smith Tuesday morning at 7:05 on Lions Radio 760 WJR.
Hey, Lions fans. Want to be at Ford Field for every home game this season? You still can. Show your Lions pride with a custom fan cutout. All proceeds benefiting Detroit Lions charities. For more information or to purchase, visit DetroitLions.com/cutouts. Go Lions!
Before he talks to anyone else, Matt Patricia talks to Lomas Brown after the game on 760 WJR. Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR. Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR. Before he talks to anyone else, Matt Patricia talks to Lomas Brown after the game on 760 WJR.
Hey, Lions fans. Want to be at Ford Field for every home game this season? You still can. Show your Lions pride with a custom fan cutout. All proceeds benefiting Detroit Lions charities. For more information or to purchase, visit DetroitLions.com/cutouts. Go Lions!
Coach Matt Patricia talks to Paul W. Smith Tuesday morning at 7:05 on Lions Radio 760 WJR. Before he talks to anyone else, Matt Patricia talks to Lomas Brown after the game on 760 WJR. Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR.
Make sure you visit DetroitLions.com for the latest Lions news, analysis, access, and more. Lions insider Tim Twentyman, along with Lions columnist Mike O'Hara, break down every aspect of today's game and the Lions' next opponent. That's only at the official online home of your Lions, DetroitLions.com. All right, welcome back. Time for our NFL Insider. Chris Burke does a great job covering the Lions for The Athletic, and he joins us now. Chris, how are you?
Doing well. I like the seat upgrade you guys got this year.
Yeah, for people that don't know, our old booth was on the 7th floor at Ford Field, and it was up there pretty good. And with the spacing that they needed to do in the press box, they've moved us down. We are now on the 3rd floor, and our sight lines are money. This is like getting upgraded from a regular room to a massive suite in a hotel.
Yeah. You know how George and Wheezy went up? Yeah. We came down. We came down.
Yeah, but we're still moving on up.
There you go.
We're still moving on up. I was kind of with you last night on Twitter when all this stuff was going down, just craziness with the Saints getting a positive test, which has now proved to be a false positive, and just an indication of where we are right now in the National Football League, Chris. And I just wonder, with 2 games being postponed today, having a scare here with this game as well, are you anticipating this might be a week where we hear about some changes from the league?
Probably, and I think it's important that this game's happening. Like, if you get to that 3rd, and then the Patriots and Chiefs are now, it sounds like they're going to play. If you got to 3 games being moved and postponed, that schedule gets a little messy. You start feeling a little more concerned. But, yeah, it sounds like there's going to be a call with the league on Monday and try and figure things out. And, yeah, I mean, I was with you. I stayed up till 2:30, went to bed till about 6, woke up expecting to hear that they weren't going to play today. So it's nice to be here and have a game to watch.
Yeah, it is. There's no doubt about it. You wrote a real nice piece on The Athletic, basically saying, and I'm going to sum it up here in many fewer words than you used, show us what you got. Show us if this is real. It's time for Matt Patricia to show us that what he's trying to do is going to work.
Yeah, I mean, they've talked a lot about sort of stacking them together. That's been the phrase, not just one practice to the next, but make sure it's rolling over week after week. And it was a big win last week to go down there, get things back on track. But 1-3 doesn't really get you there. So 2-2 going into the bye, you get some momentum. You start feeling a little better about this thing, and especially if you see some of the signs from last week. The offense looks better, and the defense holds up front. I mean, there were some positive signs there. That wasn't a fluky win for them. That was a good win last week, so you'd like to see them do it again.
Chris, do you believe in fluky wins, or do you believe – I'm serious for the Lions, okay, go down there, you beat an Arizona team. Like you say, show us what you can do. Do you think if these guys play a close game against New Orleans, you moral victories? Do you believe that would help the team? Do you believe in moral victories? Do you think the Lions believe in moral victories?
The question is, does Sheila Ford Hemp believe in moral victories?
Well, we've seen the Lions on the end of a few fluky losses, so they probably would take a fluky win here and there. I don't know that at this point you can bank moral victories that much for as long as this has gone. To lose 11 in a row and come back and get a win and then go lose again right away, I think you're past the point of getting moral victories. I think you need to have some wins. I mean, at the same time, the coaching staff's going to say the same thing that they say every week, which is we want to see the progress, we want to see the improvement, and so if they're seeing that and the results don't show, I mean, maybe they make that argument again, but I think from everyone outside the building, you've got to see the results on the scoreboard. And again, I mean, they've been close, so it's not like the Green Bay game aside, the Chicago game should have been a win. A lot of those games last year could have been wins, so you got to find a way to start finishing, and that was the biggest thing last week. The defense came up with 2 big stops. You had that drive right at the end of the game with the game on the line, so and found some of that mojo late.
Yeah, I think the thing we're going to find out today was that defensive improvement that we saw last week real? Because even though Chicago didn't turn it into points, they beat up the Lions on the ground. They got beat up on the ground by Green Bay. This is a team that can run the ball as well with a couple of really good backs. So question I think we're going to get answered today is about that Lions run defense and just how good it is, because if New Orleans can get their run game going, and that allows Drew Brees to then get his play-action passing game going where he's going to get it out quick, it could be a long day for that defense.
Yeah, and I think that's important that there's multiple running backs here. Everyone talks about Kamara, but they've got Latavius Murray. They can move the ball between the tackles, and Kamara's kind of on his own level, maybe up there with Christian McCaffrey, just hurts you all over the place. But they've got guys that can run the ball. That was a big improvement last week, I thought. I thought the defensive line held up a lot better. You saw the linebackers hitting some of those run fits they hadn't been hitting before. So, yeah, that's where it all starts. You also kind of keep in the back. Everyone's been talking for 3 weeks now about how Drew Brees can't throw the deep ball anymore. Right. Kind of keep that in the back.
Think he's heard it?
I don't know that you give up on that entirely.
I agree, Chris. I agree with you on that. We know that the New Orleans defense, they've given up the most yardage to tight ends. So, Jesse James getting his first touchdown pass last weekend. TJ been doing pretty good this season. Do you see us trying to attack them heavy with the tight end? Do you see Matthew looking for those guys a little bit more today?
Yeah, I mean, I think TJ's a big part of this offense now. You're seeing it every week. It's a consistent thing when they go to pass, and he was open on some plays last week where the ball went other places. He could have had a 100-yard game pretty easily last week. So I think they will continue to attack there. The Jesse James thing, I guess we'll see. Yeah. It might have been a 1-week explosion for him, but I think TJ Hawkinson's going to bring it every week. And, you also talk about that's linebackers and safeties a lot of times covering those tight ends. And so maybe the backs can get free a little bit too here this week.
What's the first thing you're looking for in this game today as you kind of break it down in your mind?
Talked about the Lions front seven and the run fits, but I think really in that passing attack, you've got to find a way to keep Alvin Kamara from going for those big gains. They've got some tight ends to worry about too, and Jared Cook and Adam Troutman who can hit you over the middle. So you really got to be solid sort of up the gut. I thought they really were last week. Danny Shelton played well. Jamie Collins played really well. Deron Harmon on the back end. I think that, sort of line down the middle of the field, you got to be solid again.
All right, Chris, great stuff. We appreciate it. We'll look for you on The Athletic, and anybody that's interested in subscribing.
Yeah, come on down. We got a $1 per month deal going right now, so we'd be happy to have you.
There you go. Chris, great stuff. We look forward to it. We'll look for your stuff after the game as well.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
All right, there he is, Chris Burke, who joins us. He covers the Lions for The Athletic, does a great job, and we will take a break, come right back. Keys to the game coming up next. Big Low's going to break them down for us when we return. Lions and Saints on the way here at Ford Field. This is Lions Radio.
Want to join in on the Lions game action from the comfort of your own home? Now's your chance with Lions Bingo, presented by BetMGM. Available on the Detroit Lions app. Join in on the predictive game and be eligible to win cash prizes and future all-expenses-paid trips. For more games and Lions content, download the Lions mobile app today. Available on both iOS and Android. Go Lions!
Coach Matt Patricia talks to Paul W. Smith Tuesday morning at 7:05 on Lions Radio 760 WJR. Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR.
Hey, Lions fans. Want to be at Ford Field for every home game this season? You still can. Show your Lions pride with a custom fan cutout. All proceeds benefiting Detroit Lions charities. For more information or to purchase, visit DetroitLions.com/cutouts. Go Lions!
Make sure you visit DetroitLions.com for the latest Lions news, analysis, access, and more. Lions insider Tim Twentyman, along with Lions columnist Mike O'Hara, break down every aspect of today's game and the Lions' next opponent. That's only at the official online home of your Lions, DetroitLions.com.
Before he talks to anyone else, Matt Patricia talks to Lomas Brown after the game on 760 WJR.
Want to join in on the Lions game action from the comfort of your own home? Now's your chance with Lions Bingo, presented by BetMGM. Available on the Detroit Lions app. Join in on the predictive game and be eligible to win cash prizes and future all-expenses-paid trips. For more games and Lions content, download the Lions mobile app today. Available on both iOS and Android. Go Lions!
3-second window free, plus 5 years, no interest, no down payment. Schedule a safe at-home or virtual estimate at wallside.com.
News Talk 760 WJR.
All right, players making their way back out onto the field as we get set for the Lions and Saints here at Ford Field. 2-1 and 2 teams as we get ready to go in week 4. We've talked about it. It's a big game. Somebody's walking out of here 500 and somebody's walking out of here in a big hole low. Key number 1 for the Lions today is what?
Alvin Kamara. To me, it's Alvin Kamara. Dan, I know everybody talk about the demise of Drew Brees, but for me, watching film on these guys, everything starts and stops with Alvin Kamara. They get that running game going. Like you say, Drew Brees could play action pass off there. It just sets so many things up for that offense. So to me, he's the number 1 priority that our defense has to stop.
When you're looking at that defense, who's your key guy or the key position group to get it done against him?
Those 2 guys in the middle. I'm talking about Nick Williams and I'm talking about Danny Shelton. Those are the 2 guys that have to lead this defense. They got to get penetration on run and pass. If they do that, then it'll cause Alvin to try to bounce the ball. They'll get pressure up in Drew Brees' face when he tries to throw the ball. So to me, those are going to be the 2 key guys.
They spill them out, then it's up to your guys on the outside to make tackles, because if you saw that game last week, you saw him take a swing pass, miss tackle, boom, 52-yard touchdown.
Yeah, and he make it look so easy,
he's
too.
Ridiculous.
Oh, my gosh.
He's ridiculous. All right, Lions on offense, big key is what?
Well, to me, get T.J. Hawkinson involved in the game. You know, they've been doing a nice job of doing that, but this Saints defense has given up the most yardage to tight ends this year. So if you could get him involved in the game along with our running game, I think Adrian Peterson can be a big, big key for us because, again, he does the same thing that Alvin Kamara does for Drew Brees, enables us to do the run action pass, eats up time. So to me, establish the run, but TJ has to be a priority.
Special teams. Deontay Harris, 5'6", hard to find back there, but you got to find a way to do it. Lions have done a terrific job in coverage. You got to do that again today. Can't give Drew Brees any easy field positions.
So I got one for you. Do we kick it deep? Or do we pooch it up like we've been trying to do to get our guys down there, especially like you talking about with a guy like Deontay? He's a dangerous guy. What do you, I mean?
If I can kick it out the back, I'm kicking out the back. If I could just take the return game out of the equation, that's what I'm going to do, because I don't want to give him a chance to do anything, because he's a guy that can really make some things happen. He's a talented player. So I think that's part of it. So those are the keys to today's game.
look, we talked about it. Lions have a chance here. At 0-2, things were dark. At 1-2, you got a chance to get back to 500. You got a chance to get to your bye week feeling good about where you're headed, and that's what they're trying to do today as we get ready to roll here at Ford Field. We're ready for some football. Kickoff is coming up next. Stick with us. This is the Detroit Lions Radio Network.
Coach Matt Patricia talks to Paul W. Smith